Yo, SUC in the building. Be back. We got a good one, man. Got a
Sourced
good
up
one.
click.
Sourced up click. SUC in the building. You know how we doing. You know how we rocking, man. So we was in the back talking about the black home, black relationships, how they fail, and certain degeneracies that's holding our people back. And we felt like we should bring it to the web, bring it to the net, and let y'all brothers, chime in. That's in the chat. So we can get a think tank going, man. Because me personally, I believe that a lot of these situations that go on in the black community and black relationships is swept under the rug. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And a lot of our people don't want to address it. Especially the religious crowd, they want to always blame. They want to blame the white man for everything. But when we're going to start, addressing us,
Manning
it's
up
not
and
bullshit.
handling our issues ourselves.
Yeah. Handling our own issues, addressing our own issues, and start correcting and fixing.
Because obviously they ain't gonna do it.
Right. If like y'all say, oh, they the devil. Why would you expect the devil to fix what you got going on? You know
exactly. All he gonna want to do is mess it up. He came to kill, steal, and destroy. Last I checked.
Exactly. So we got kind of sort of diverse panel. We got a female here. We got Denise here. You know what I'm saying? We got our brother Abdul. We got my brother Neo here in the building. So they're gonna all chime in. It's gonna be very interesting, on these point of views on relationships and so forth. And I want to see what can we do to address some of these issues. We're gonna bring the issues up, but I want to see what everybody's solution is to these issues as well. So what we were talking about in the back chat was certain behaviors that go on in these relationships, like abuse, certain behaviors about women taking care of sorry men. You know what I'm saying? All he doesn't provide.
Which is his sole purpose as a man.
Exactly. She becomes the provider. He becomes a beta male, right? And it's not even a girlfriend at that point. In my mind, in my opinion, that's his mother. Mm-hmm. Let's just keep it real. That becomes his mother.
A roof over his head. She keep him feed, clothed. That's a mama.
So, I mean, if anybody y'all want to chime in, we can start there and then go from there. Abdul, James, Denise, Neo.
I want to open the floor to Denise first, so we can't be biased in our perspective. We want to let her come out on first. So, what you think, Miss Denise?
Wow. Okay. Well, I definitely agree with you all, because like I always tell people that they are their.
Your mic went out.
Yeah, we lost you.
Okay.
We lost you at they are.
Is it back in?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, can you hear me now? Okay, so they're their woman's oldest son, right? Because it's like if you're not doing anything, but you want that king of the castle status, So it's like not only do you have to teach, black men how to be leaders, which I don't believe a woman can do. I think it has to be done by men because we are not men. Men have a hard job. They have that unfair thing going on where to be a man is very unfair, which is why women are there to help lighten their load. So a man has to be taught how to be a man from a man. And so you have a lot of men and we have women who want to take over that role. You have a lot of men who don't know how to do that. All they know how to do is be a older son to somebody. And they don't provide, but they want, all the accolades as if they do. And then you also have the women who are teaching their girls how to be basically overbearing women, doing everything themselves and not even giving the man room to be a man in the household. And so when you have that, then you have women who are looking for a man that's going to just basically beat her up instead of be a man. So therefore you have that fucked up backwards dynamic, and then it goes on to the children.
Okay, I think I don't really see nothing to disagree with right there. I'm fully in support of that. I would say to her point that I do believe it starts with the man. I'm just, call me uh old school, traditional, all you want to. I think that everything starts in the household and starts with the man. He should set the pace. But as a man, you have about three primary duties as a man. It is to provide for your household, to protect your household, and I guess I'll just say two because the third one really goes into the first, to provide and protect those in your household. That is your duty as a man. Um, Even though a lot of things by the government has incentivized certain activities in our communities, like they wouldn't give money to the woman unless the man was out the household at a time when men weren't getting many jobs, like right after Vietnam and stuff like that. And it really incentivized men to leave the household, which left women there to run the household. And they end up raising men who didn't know how to be men. They didn't have the example of a man going to work every day, a man providing, a man actually being the king of his quote unquote castle. And for the young ladies, I think a lot of it comes from that given the situation where these women are, a lot of them on Section 8, stuff like that. They just need a dude around who pay bills and things like that. So it brings a strange dynamic to it all. A lot of times it's probably a dude who sit around most of the day playing video games, probably sell a little weed or something on the side enough to pay this a couple bills and stuff, but he's no real example or nothing like that to the young kids. I would say that parents also fail. This is both parents fail as far as education of their kids are concerned. They leave everything to these public schools. You know what I'm saying? And these public schools right now teaching your kids to be gay. I'm sorry, when you propagandize something, you're teaching someone to be that. So, I mean, with us just letting the public schools do whatever they want, I think that really is also a negative for our kids, because these kids who are in these single family households and the mother or father they're living with actually works, who's really raising the child? You know what I'm saying? The streets and the teachers at school. So if the streets telling your son to be a knucklehead and your school telling your son to be gay, you know what I'm saying? He got a horrible choices to make in life. You know what I'm saying? He got dealt a horrible hand. So like I said, like I was saying earlier, a lot of this stuff comes down to the household. And as far as, and let me hit one more point and then I'll pass it on, about selection on both sides. Men need to stop running up in these unruly women. You know what I'm saying? These women who talk bad to you, treat you like a child. She was not raised to be a wife. Okay. And the product of sex is a child. That's the purpose of sex, to have children. So she's not raised to be a wife. So stop running up in these women and stuff like that. As far as the woman, stop letting nothing ass niggas get between your legs. Sexual selection, unless it's rape, is on the woman. She's letting these knucklehead nothing dudes run up in her and then dip and leave her with the children and completely destroying the children's future before it even starts. And I yield there.
Yeah, y'all said everything, but it's another dynamic too. When we got these single households, and like you said, who's raising the kids? The first teachers of these children are the parents. And when, you know, she's by herself and she's raising these kids with a little bit of welfare and she meet this guy, and then she's working and she ain't got to pay nobody. That's when these little children get abused, molested, and all this other stuff. And that's prevalent amongst our communities, you know. And we really need to look at that because like we was talking earlier, James, that I prefer a two household family, a mother and a father. That's just the way the father, God wanted it to be, and that's all I got to say.
All right, y'all getting a little bit too cute in here, man. I don't like that. So
Wait, before you come and turn up, we gotta open the flow to Neo. See what Neo gotta say, because we already know you gonna turn up.
Neo, are you there?
Yeah. So I agree with everything that's been said so far. It lines up with scripture and everything. That's the way it was ordained to be. This new way of doing it. This modern society, and they do everything backwards. They don't do everything according to how it was supposed to be done. They got to change everything up and try to fix what wasn't broken in the first place. So, it's just a product of the times and the seasons. So I agree though, for the most part.
All right. This shit too cute, so I'm gonna have to turn up on y'all real quick. So let's say we have the situation we were speaking on earlier, where that woman is talking to that man like he a child, like he's a piece of trash, like he's an object, and that woman got her finger all up in his face, hitting him all upside the head. What should that man do in that situation? And I want the reason why.
Oh, I'm gonna use 30 seconds to a minute tops in answering this. If he is a nothing ass nigga who's sitting there playing video games, watching the kids, he get what he fucking deserve. I'm done. But if oh my bad, let me say, but if he a good upstanding dude who go to work every day, handle his business, he need to leave her alone.
All right. Let's be real. She just didn't get up one day and get to pointing fingers and calling this nigga a bitch ass nigga. She was doing it from the day he met her. He actually thought it was cute. That's all I got to say.
Hold up. I gotta object, but I'm just saying. I'm sorry. I'm a living example, bro. Women start off, if they like you, they gonna be extra nice. They're gonna give you everything they want. Once they got you, it ain't like that no more. Okay, they got you now. You hooked in, and they gonna start treating you the way they really treat men and stuff like that around in their life. And that could be turning up on you, disrespecting you, slapping you, may even start treating you like her son if she taking care of you.
You know what? I ain't gonna argue with you, brother. But from my experience out here in California, she started out. You thought they think it's cute. And you knew or heard of a nigga that she was messing with. Come on, man. We living in these neighborhoods and stuff. It ain't that big. You heard stories. So, we got to do our due diligence when we picking the mate. And especially if you think about sliding up in it raw, as you stated, Brother James.
You know what? I'm going to agree with you.
The direct result from sex. That's what it was created for. So, if you pick the scallywag for a baby daddy, a nut ass nigga, or if you thought this chick was cute, but she wasn't nothing but a prostitute and a video vixen Instagram hoe, well, you get what you get. You picked it. Yeah. It was your decision.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying that sometimes you don't know.
Agree.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Yeah, I'm with you though. Your point is valid.
Look, I'm gonna say it, man. Y'all being too nice about it. These ratchet assholes interview well. They interview well. You're not using the real her when you first get with her.
That's facts. I said it nicer, but yeah, that's what I was saying.
I'm playing on this this live y'all playing. She's going to be the most womanly person you ever met when y'all first get together. It's going to come in stages. It's going to come in stages. How she going to slowly reveal the dragon that she is.
But I agree with Abdullah, because in my case, like my example, I knew she was an ass. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, brother. Abdul. I appreciate you correcting me though. But in my case, I knew she was an asshole. She just wasn't an asshole to me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta kind of agree. You know what I'm saying with him there. I knew she was an asshole before I started messing with her.
Yeah, it took me a while to realize, but the way when you meet a girl, the way she treat people, other people around you, is the way she soon will be treating you once she get to know you.
Exactly.
The people that are supposed to be her family, the kids, or anything like that, you see how she treat people that she's comfortable with. And that goes for men too, both sides. That's
Thank you.
if you
Facts.
noticing they treating everybody else with disrespect, but you the new person they met, and they treating you all holier than thou. Just give it some time.
I was going to say the exact same thing, but you know, it's just the truth because we've been on our best behavior. You see, just let me just give you a little scenario. She starts flashing and cussing you out, and then you start saying, "Look, bitch, this, and that," and then she starts putting her finger in her face and maybe threw a drink in your face when you was in public, and now you slap and spit out her mouth. We could just see that it was gonna happen in the beginning, but when you're young, you don't see it. You know what I'm saying? My father said the realest thing to me when I was 15. He said, "Nigga, I've been 15 before. You ain't been 55."
Fact.
Me being stupid, I didn't realize the game he was putting on me. You know what I'm saying? He already knew everything I was thinking about doing and going to do. So that's it.
Hey, with that being stated, right? On that, because we're really talking about domestic violence or the provocation of it, right? So if it occurs, I want you guys to be honest. Who's at fault? If it comes to blows, who's
It
at fault?
depends on the
Who strikes
on the
first?
scenario. Yeah.
Same
Well,
scenario.
I think it's okay. The scenario, I forgot it. Run it back
Right.
real quick.
So they're in the house. They get into an argument, and she begins to be the dragon that she is, yelling, cussing at him, putting her finger all up in his face, slapping him, doing everything she can, and he begins to try to flee the situation.
Okay, you talking about where he try to leave? She comes slam the door, won't let him out, just because he gonna have to hear her.
Right.
Shit, at that point, I can't lie. I blame the woman, bro, because all a dude can try to do is walk away, man. A dude is a dude. Our reaction to extreme stress or pressure is usually violence or the fight or flight. That's just in our DNA. Is the way God made us. That's the way we're gonna be. If he tries to fight the situation and you cut that off, you left him with fight, unless he just a mouse of a man who has no instincts in himself to do anything, because instinct kick in at a point. Like, she trapping me in here, she ain't letting me go. You gonna want to get up off of you to get the hell up out of there.
Right. That was, that's a scenario. I wouldn't blame
a woman's
the woman.
thing is her mouth.
All he had to do was call his homie. I've been in that position too. Had to call my brother, one of the homies. He knocked on the door, and I had to hurry up and run out the house. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew if I would have kept going down the route we was going, right, I was gonna hurt her, and who gonna be in trouble? It didn't make a difference if she did start it. When the people look at it or the world hears about it or the neighborhood, you shouldn't have hit her. We've been raised not to hit these girls. And I'm not saying defending yourself. If you struck her, that's why I said whoever hit first is at fault. It don't make a difference. Whoever struck first is at fault. And that's the truth.
Yeah, I agree with Abdul. Whoever hit first is at fault, but in reality, that's not how it always plays out. Sometimes she can hit first and you still be the one that's at fault or considered at fault. You're not technically at fault, but you're considered at fault legally.
Mostly in the court of law.
So what both of y'all said was true. That man he gotta do what it's gonna take for him not to get, accused of anything, which is usually back down in a situations that she's not expected to back down in. He will be expected to back down in.
So she punked.
Yeah, I jumped out of
right.
I jumped off the balcony
much.
on the second floor.
That depends on a lot of different things, though.
If she punks you 3 times.
Did you hear the scenario though, Denise?
Is
I
he
just
a
want.
soft ass dude?
Did you hear the
Yeah,
scenario though?
I heard
Okay,
the
cool. Go
scenario,
ahead.
but I'm saying like it's a lot of different ways that it plays out because in one way it could be that he is like what we were talking about that too nice shit, right? So when you got a dude that play like he too nice with a woman that's too aggressive, she feels like she can do that to him until you turn around and teach her something, right? Okay, then you got somebody who she's always been like that. Like when I was younger, an older dude told me that everybody always show you who they are in the beginning. You know, you dismiss it sometimes because you like them. You dismiss it sometimes because it's like, well, it ain't me, right? But you know who the person is, you know. But women, in defense of us, our superpower is our mouth. It is us talking. It's us yelling. It's us whatever. And yours is in your hand, and I get that. But
Mm-hmm.
when a man, you're trying to get your point across, right? And you talking, and they just decide, hey man, I ain't about to listen to this. Fuck this shit and walk away. No. No, because I still want to say what I want to say, and I still want you to understand what I'm trying to get across. And it feels like at that moment to a woman, because we're overly emotional, at that moment it feels like this is the only moment you're gonna have to get your point across, which is irrational, but that's what it feels like. And so you're arguing and you're arguing, and you're going at it and you're going at it because you really want them right now to understand right now what it is you're mad about and everything else. And you want to talk about it. And the dude is like, this sounds like craziness to me. I would like for you to calm down. I don't want you yelling. I'm just going to go away. We could talk about this another time. But to a woman that sometimes right now is the only time she feels like she has. And you know, you have to grow out of that. You have to realize that you need to calm down and talk.
Well, I was just about to say, well, what you just said, you made her wrong because the moment somebody becomes irrational,
She
they
is.
wrong.
I'm not saying that she's right. Yes, I'm not saying she's right, but I'm just saying that's how like men don't have that because most men that are real men, they don't feel that part where it's like, no, this is the only time I'm ever gonna get to tell you this. You know what I'm saying? No, we got to talk about this right now. Now, emotional beta men, they usually do. They usually have that exact same reaction. They can't leave it alone for shit. They got to continue to talk about it and continue to talk and continue when you're not trying to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But most men, they don't want to stop, let the situation calm down, and then let's talk about this with our minds.
I got.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I want to give another scenario, and it could be male or female, but you know, there's always that one. You know, the person out there working hard, bringing the money or whatnot, and you got the one that's at home, and they just jealous or something's running through their mind, and you know, always accusing the other. You know, and it could be male or female. You know, how do you deal with that situation? I know how I deal with that situation, but I want to hear you, brothers and sisters.
Leave their ass alone. I'm done.
They need to get a job. They got too much time on their hands. Listen, I
Exactly.
don't got time
Right
for
there.
this.
Leave their ass alone. That's
And you,
exactly.
and
Okay,
you,
I totally agree. That was
That
that's
could be
what I
the
was gonna
problem.
say.
It's too much free time. Y'all seeing each other all the fucking time. Y'all starting to hate each other. You know what I'm saying? You start bickering behind that. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nothing going on. So that could be the resolution to it, man. That could be, Abdul. But that's just extremely petty, man. You start blaming each other for every goddamn thing.
Hey, but when you
Yeah,
ain't got shit
because
else to
but
do,
it's
your
not even
mind will
that.
make
But
up
he's
shit
talking
to do.
about accusing somebody. Yeah, they sitting around and they like, you know, they 15 minutes late. What was they doing for 15 minutes? Who got time? Listen, you know what I'm saying? We're not about to do this. It's not about to happen. I'm not about to make up a reason to argue. No, you got to go find something to do. You got to. I'm not even about to sit here and listen to this shit.
Well, to know you
So
one of a
yeah, but
kind.
that happens plenty.
yeah, because that's not how it usually goes down. It's
Yeah, I'm about to
usually
say.
she tracked you, she looked in that area, she heard you was messing with a female in that area a couple years ago or something, and now you was at her house, but
Oh
really
no,
you
I've done that.
went to the
Oh no,
store.
no,
You know,
I'm
it's
not saying I
crazy.
haven't done that. I have. I've done it, but you know, you grow up. After a while, you gotta grow up. I'm not saying I ain't never stalked my nigga. I have showed the fuck up. Whose house is this though, bro? Oh yes, I have a tracking thing on your phone. Yes, I do. Yeah, and I'm here. So what you
I
gonna
would have left your ass alone.
do?
Right then and there.
And that's what they say. Oh, you stalking me? How I'm stalk something that's mine? This is mine. Who is this?
Right.
Because I'm
Oh,
talking
that's
about what's
crazy
mine
that
over
you
here.
say that.
Sir, what's the problem?
Yeah, but he could have been a traveling salesman. He was selling something at their house. You don't know.
No, because I know what it is, and I know who you are, and I caught your ass up. You're done. You know
Yeah,
what you
but
can do is
he
tell
was
this
trying to sell
bitch
his
to pick you
product.
up and take you to my house so you can get your shit. That's what you can do. And then, like, that's it. I mean, yeah, it's irrational, but it happens. After a while, you know what I know, because what ended up happening is I ended up getting with a dude that was the same way, and it was retarded because I wasn't doing shit, and he was just dumb. So what I'm like is this: listen, I'm not about to motherfucking make you a prisoner. You come and go as you please. You be respectful the same way I am. I don't have to know everything that you're doing because I respect you, and I'm hoping that you respect me in this relationship. So it should just be that way. I'm you know when somebody feels like a prisoner, they start to resent the relationship. I'm not your warden. Like, you ain't checking in with me. We have a
Like hell I
relationship.
ain't.
So it goes like that. You know what I'm saying? It's respectful on both ends. You know what you expect, and you know what he expects, and so therefore you just basically abide by the
Denise,
standard that you
I'm
all set in the
sorry.
relationship.
I'm gonna have to call BS. In my household, winter is coming. I'm the warden of the north. You understand? I
Oh
runs my
no.
household. I'm not a dictator, but I runs my household. All right. Ain't nobody gonna be out any time of day, any time of anything, doing nothing. I don't know. You understand?
Right.
That's
Blessed be the
women or
peacemakers.
children.
Right. Blessed be the
That
peacemakers
is horrible.
and the
No,
peacekeepers.
Right, girl, right
listen,
now.
like I
That's
said, you
it.
can be respectful, but no, ain't nobody. I'm not about to sit here every time I walk out the house. I mean, I can tell you, but I mean, ain't no every time I walk out the house, I gotta
What's
explain to
so bad
somebody
about?
where
Hey,
I'm
baby,
going,
I'm
what
about
I'm
to
doing
run
in
to
the
the
time.
stove.
Listen,
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
What's
Look,
wrong with that? I do it.
right. And we know you probably ain't
yeah,
in no good.
no, that's
You ain't in
fine.
Beverly Hills
I'm just
in the
talking
gated
about checking
community.
in every
You
time
in
you
the
do
hood.
something.
And we
Well,
know
not
it's
every
more
time you
peace
do
in these
something, but if you
streets.
going some, oh my
You
bad, go
know?
ahead, Abdul.
So, let me know. I know them niggas is at the store. I know niggas be gang banging. They just shot so and so up there at the store at the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Babe, I'm going to the store.
It's a safety
It's
thing
not
more than
hard.
anything. Yeah, it's a
Right.
safety
It's a
thing more than
respect
anything.
thing
But that's why I
more than
said
anything.
within being
It's his job to
respectful.
protect you.
Like,
It's
you know
his
what I'm
job
saying?
to
No, you're
protect you no
not
matter
gonna.
where you at, though, Denise.
Facts.
Yeah, no,
That's
but
his
what I'm
job.
saying is this: I said within being respectful. So that means no, I don't think that somebody should have a curfew, right? Like a set
Nah.
curfew. But
No,
however,
you got
if
to
you come in
set
at midnight, you
curfew.
know that that's
Now you got to be
disrespectful.
reasonable what time you
You
Nah.
come in the
understand? You
house.
know that that's
You better not try to
disrespectful. So
knock on
you
the
know
door
that you're
after
not
10
supposed to
o'clock.
come in at that time.
Don't knock on
Yeah,
the door
So
ain't
after
that's
nothing
10
what I
good
o'clock.
said.
happening
You
after
know
10
what
o'clock. I'm with you,
disrespectful
I
is.
was
You
Abdul.
know
about to
what's
say that.
disrespectful.
Don't
So
knock
a
on the
woman
door
can
after
come
10.
home at 12 o'clock at night and the nigga's supposed to be cool with that?
Nah. Don't come home
Hell
after 10
no.
o'clock.
And we're not
So
I
saying
will
let's
knock
we're not
on your
saying
door
that she got
after.
a night
okay.
job.
Let's
She don't got a
reiterate
job at night. We're not
what
saying
I
that. We're
said.
saying
What I said was she should work. She should be in the parameters of the standards that you all set. So
Okay, with
yes,
me being
I'm
the
not
warden of
saying
the
that she
north.
should have a certain curfew, but she knows that okay, this is a
No, I
disrespectful
agree with
amount
you,
of hour
sister.
to come in. I know
Nah,
that it's
I
Look,
don't.
expected
hold on,
to be here
It's
at this
White
time.
Walkers beyond the
I
wall,
don't
brother.
let
think
me go
that
after you,
You
Warden.
understand?
you have to sit
It's
here
You got
White
me,
Walkers
Warden.
beyond the wall.
set a thing.
And I
Yeah,
know
cause
they
no,
out here
ain't no nigga
trying to
about to
recruit.
tell me you got to be in here at 9 p.m. Period. I don't care.
They trying
No,
to
what the
recruit.
fuck?
They
They
I'm
is.
try.
gonna
I
be in
know
at
the
a
White
respectful
Walkers trying to
time.
recruit. They trying to slay my baby and recruit her. You understand?
Look, but we got to be real though. When you got together and you was like, "This gonna be my girl and he gonna be my man," and y'all living together and paying bills together, you pretending like we didn't make rules.
Exactly.
Talking to another nigga cheating. Your ex bet not call you. Eating is cheating.
Yeah, I don't
If
play
I
X
ain't
games.
invited. So that means if you went with another girl, you thought
That's
that's
cheating.
cheating. Eating and cheating. You feel me? We got these rules, and it's the same thing, you know. So you got to establish rules. If you didn't establish no rules, well, then let's be real.
All right,
Anything's up for debate or for whatever.
Okay,
You know?
Abdul, so
I
what
do
you,
think there's unwritten rules though, but go ahead.
There is
Tashina.
unwritten rules.
what?
There, too,
Okay,
bro.
that's a great point what Abdul made right there. Okay, they didn't set no rules, no foundation. They're together now, and now one of them are agitated at the other's behavior. Like, I don't want you coming home at 12. Then she's like, well, this wasn't a problem before.
That's
What
true.
do you do in that situation?
Well, you can't do nothing in that situation because
Right.
a real man would have checked all the bullshit at the door.
Facts. I like to say this to my people all the time. You let it happen. You let it happen for so long.
Facts.
You ain't stopping the motion. It's in motion. If you try to stop that motion, you're going to destroy it. So if you want to keep it, you're going to have to work with it. And if he loves you enough, like, we listen, we just don't want to be harped on it all in my ear and this and that in front of the TV or slap the blunt out of my hand. You feel me? Look, I heard you. I'm not emotional. I'm not
Oh
going to
my
get up and
God.
have this long conversation, but you ain't going to make me change. The more, look, I'm being real. The more you try to make your spouse, partner, whatever change, that's pushing them away from you. But if they love
Yeah,
you
that's
and
human
want it
nature.
to work, they will
Mhm.
change by themselves.
Yeah,
They
that's
I
human
gotta
nature. The more you push
disagree,
somebody
Abdul.
towards something, no, the
You
more
gotta
you push
disagree.
somebody towards something, the more they put up resistance against it. That's human nature.
Right.
I agree
Right.
with that.
That's
I agree
true.
with that. But his method of just, well, if she love me, she gonna do what I say, or she gonna change for the better. That's the part I disagree
Oh
with.
nah, I would leave her
Oh
ass
no,
alone.
no,
You know
you
me.
know it's certain signs. If you know when we put the rules down, break the rules, break it if you want to, and I'll be out of here because I ain't invested. What we got to understand is women usually invest in men. You know, they invest in niggas a lot. They buy him everything, bought him the new $1,500 phone, put the rims on his car, paying his car note. These niggas are spoiled, and these women did it to him. You know what I'm saying? You didn't kick the nigga out the tree and see if this nigga could flap. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, you gotta
Mhm.
fly. So you know, if you built that, if you
No, they
dug that
scared of
grave
him to
or you
touch the
built that
ground.
type of castle, you gotta live in it. You know, because you can't stop the motion. If I was coming home at like, it took years. I ran a recording studio, so I was up until 1, 2 in the morning. It was like 4 years, 5 years that I understood. You know, my girl was knocking on the door. She'd sit in there, then she'd go to sleep in there by herself. She'd have to lock the door because niggas would knock on the door, and a whole bunch of shit. Right? I had to start making changes myself, so I had to shut the studio sessions down and, you know, continue this relationship because I felt it was worth it. You feel me?
Got you.
It ain't nothing to cut that bitch off.
That either.
Okay. So there is the solution at that point will be to just let it go. I guess if it's no change, that's what I'm getting from it. If it's no change, you didn't set no rules in the beginning. You agitated now, like, you know, and now the relationship is going down a tube because you're like, damn, this woman is blatantly disrespecting me now. She's coming home 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. I asked her one time to stop doing it. She threw it in my face like it wasn't a problem before. So at this point, I just got to move on.
Exactly.
But what did we just do? We just destroyed a relationship. So how do we
was it ever a
preserve
relationship in the first place, though?
Huh?
Was it ever a relationship in the first place, though? That's the question.
What we got to understand
A real
is,
relationship.
Stupid.
go
But
ahead.
that's why I said that you're supposed to set standards in the beginning of a relationship. Like I always say, don't build a relationship on love, build it on respect. Because respect is something you can gauge. I can love you and fuck up all your shit and still be like, I love you and really mean it, right? But I can't say I respect you and fuck up all your shit. I can't do that.
How you love somebody if you don't respect them?
Respect is something that you can gauge because love is something that you feel yourself. It's not something the other person feels. It's just
No,
something
I got you, but they're deeply intertwined. They're deeply
Yeah,
intertwined. In order to love someone, you
love is
must
also
respect them.
irrational. It's irrational, and so when people do stuff like that, they can't be rationally thinking
Some
Wait,
because this is your
aspects,
main.
some
You
wait,
wait,
still
Denise, I
wanna,
want to be
wait,
and
fair
guess
to you.
what's gonna happen?
wait.
You're
We
gonna
need
still
to know
spend the money
Let's
to
don't
do
talk over
it.
each other,
Yeah,
y'all.
we
Hold
talking
on,
over
hold
each
on,
other.
hold on. Abdul, everybody,
Yeah,
chill. One at a time, y'all.
I was just going to say, because we're using this word, we're throwing this word love around recklessly. We need to understand
Exactly.
what love is and what lust is. Okay, you need to understand
But
the
see,
chemicals
y'all
in your
put too
body
much
that
pressure
got you
on
attracted
me.
to this person. That's lust. Love is accepting everything and all the flaws and working it out.
I
Okay,
don't know if wait, I would say I don't know if love is accepting all the flaws. It's recognizing and being willing to work through them. But normally, when you really love someone, you want them to be a better person. You have a genuine respect for that person. Like that's why brothers can love each other. You know what I'm saying? Like to your point, Abdul, there's a difference between love and lust. A woman, especially a woman or a man, if they don't respect you, they don't love you. Period.
right.
But it's showing it that I'm saying, like for instance, I don't know why people put so much on love. Love is to me is a selfish thing, right? Because I can sit here and say, I'll do it, but I love you, right? Now I expect for because I said I love Abdul, for Abdul to do all this stuff for me because I love him. That don't make no sense because my love for him don't do nothing for him. That's me. I'm feeling that. He don't feel that shit.
Right.
That's me. I didn't care about it. I can do everything, but because I love him, it does not obligate him to me or to do anything for me to care, respect, or anything me because I love him. That's my own
Correct. But if he
feeling, and I'm
loves
the only
you,
person feeling it.
I was going to say
but
that.
but it's supposed to be. I thought in a relationship it's supposed to be mutual, not one
It
sided.
is, but it's
Sometimes
not
it is
mutual
supposed
in
to
the
be mutual, but
beginning.
what I'm saying is that that's the reason why you should build it on respect.
Well, I agree
Because if you
with you
build it
because,
on
like I
mutual
said,
respect, then that is something you can gauge. You know when something is respectful and disrespectful. You know
I
when
think
something is something that somebody had laid the law down about, said I would do not play about this, say I don't like this, and you do it anyway. You know what disrespect is, and you can literally acknowledge that that is disrespectful. And if we're building and we start with respect, that love part can grow all it wants to, but we're building on respect.
no, I get you.
Right.
I think where we kind of I'm gonna hand it right to you. Let me do real quick to clarity with Denise. Um, I'm saying respect is a component of love. Like you're right, parts of it is irrational, but
Yeah.
one key component of it is the genuine respect for the other person. You got it, Abdul.
I can't argue with neither one of you, but um, I don't want to say we got to understand. It's these relationships, just like everything, things come to an end. It don't mean that it was wrong and it wasn't supposed to happen, but things end. The movie ends. You get done drinking the water. The food ended. The grass grows, dies, and comes back again. Things end. So it's okay to let it end. I think sometimes we be holding on to things that had already died, and then it keeps on spiraling out of line to where you're hurting each other and you are taking pleasure in hurting. Like, why am I gonna break up the house when I paid for this shit in the house? We paid for it. We gotta replace this shit, you know? And that's just like you're saying, that is the lack of respect. You know what I mean? I respect you. I'm not gonna break up your shit and none of that stuff. If I get irrational because I don't think you're getting what I'm putting across, I might lash out or whatever, I might not know. And we usually don't know as men how to handle our emotions and feelings. Society taught us we don't have emotions, we don't have feelings. It ain't okay for a man to cry and all this stuff. Well, that shit builds up, builds up, builds up, and brothers end up exploding, you know. And we gotta adjust those situations, those things first. We gotta look in the mirror first. If I'm a broken man and I'm not loving myself, right? If I don't love myself when I look in the mirror, how in the hell am I gonna love anyone? That's
That's a fact. That's damn sure a fact. You gotta love yourself first.
All right. We trying to preserve the black family, right? We want to see
Mhm.
more black families grow and be prosperous. but you got a situation between a male and a female, and that female is breaking all of his belongings, like Abdul just brought up. Do we go tell that man, or does that man automatically leave her? And can that relationship be restored?
I mean, counseling, I would say that, because I mean, Black people in general need therapy, I believe. All Black people need to go to
Amen to
therapy.
that.
So I believe
Amen.
counseling and therapy, if they're willing to do that, then you can salvage the relationship. If they're not willing to do that, you're wasting your damn time. You're just going to invest a couple more years in some bullshit, and one of y'all going to eventually lead the other anyway.
But you also
Resentment.
do know, like nowadays, I see, even though back in the day it was the women, I see a lot of men doing this more to women's things, and it's like it's kind of like what they feel like the person treasures more than them, or what they doing, like they trying to hurt them the way they feel hurt. You know, this revenge, ultra revenge stuff.
They
And
learned
I
it from
don't
their
never,
mama.
because I always feel like when you
I
love
I would have to
somebody,
agree,
you would not
James.
do anything to hurt them, whether you're mad at them or not. And I don't, because I don't do it and I don't understand it, I can't really speak on it. But I've seen it a lot where somebody does something to really, really hurt somebody, or really try to put a man in jail, or really try to mess up a woman's house, or mess up her car so she can't go to work, and do all of this stuff. And it's just like, but then they still want to be with them, and they still want that person to love them. And it's like, how? I don't care how angry you are. If you love that person, you should not ever want any kind of harm to come to them. So I don't get that, and I have seen like this dysfunction a lot, and
Mhm.
especially in our community, and they think it's normal, and
Well,
it's
can we
very not
agree?
normal.
Can we? You're right. Can we agree though that people get into relationships to use the other person? Really, don't nobody see nobody and fall in love like the movies done lied to us.
Homosexual.
No, people use people. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And what happens is one person is fed up of being used or misused. Then it's a problem. As long as we use each other properly, respect. You know what I'm saying? That is the basic, that's the core basic of love. Look, I love from a distance, but that's a distance. But the people that I love and that are around me, I respect them. I want to work and build with them. I want to spend my time with the people I respect, look up to, or building or help building me. You know what I'm saying? And in other words, we're using each other. Steel, iron sharpen iron, and steel sharpen steel. Sometimes we got iron going up against some plastic, some polymer. Some of these relationships, y'all done seen it. They were meant to crash, but in those two people minds, they were totally in love. But really, it was just
And
lust.
lust. Yeah.
Yeah, they were just smelling each other's pheromones, and they were into
Infatuated
each
with
other.
each other.
Right. Infatuate. Yes. A new feeling that they've never had before or whatnot. And we got to weigh these things out.
Or a lot
But
of times it's the situation that you're in. You can change somebody's situation, and they change their whole outlook on
Well,
the person that they want to be with and everything else.
I've learned from watching people around me, a little bit of experience myself. Upgrading a person or changing their situation without demanding a change in them always ends negatively,
I totally agree.
because the person ends up spoiled. It's that
Yes.
simple, male or female.
That's what I was saying. Using. She or he was using the other. And when they cut that water off because they're feeling, this shit is kind of weird, then the relationship blows up and spirals, and that's crazy. That's why I said we use each other, that's the truth.
Yeah, but I think that, and sometimes people don't realize that that's what they're doing.
No, but I mean,
So it's
you're
just
supposed
like
to
that
use.
woman. Like I've seen a woman who basically, okay, she got to work during the day, right? And her children probably sitting at home, and she's okay with this dynamic. Okay, she feels like she's okay with this dynamic. Okay, but then she's allowed to get babysitting and she gets herself together and it's all of that. And now she looking at him like, so what you gonna
What
do?
the fuck you gonna
Because
do
it
with
was
yourself?
cool with her when he was sitting at home and she didn't have babysitting and he was, watching kids and shit. Now she gonna get everything together and you still just sitting here. Now
She
you
don't
getting on
need
my
you no more.
nerves. Is this, that, and the
Yeah.
other? Yeah. And so, but she felt like that she was also for him. They had this thing. They was working out. They
Man,
love each other. They
about it.
everything else. But then when you are out of the situation, and now you
Mm.
looking at it, you like, okay, so
I
no,
know what you're
it's not
talking about,
working
girl.
out.
Sister, I mean,
So it's like,
you
well, what
talking
is
about
it?
growth. What you just stated was growth.
Yeah.
Things end. You can't let your spouse skyrocket and growth on you while you moving at a
Doing
snail's
nothing.
race.
Yeah.
Y'all got to be neck and neck. It's that's my
Mm-hmm.
partner. My friends, look, my brothers and my friends I love them. I really do. But I love my woman, the one I'm a build and have children with, my direct seeds. I love that way more. And if we're not neck and neck and challenging each other, what is you in it for? Just the sex? I don't know. Or
Well,
we just trying to hold on to something?
I would say that I know you mean negatively use a person, so let me get that out the way first.
I do mean
Because
negatively.
yeah,
Yes.
because we all utilize each other
Yes, sir.
for what we mean to each other. Whether it's just, hey, he my comrade, he my friend, you know what I'm saying? I love to have that camaraderie. And well, I'm using him for that camaraderie. It's not negative, you know what I'm saying? It could be mutual between the both of us, but we all utilize each other for all manner of things. It's just part of how God created us, I guess, as social creatures. Like a lot of stuff we don't investigate ourselves. We use other people's knowledge for. It's just what we do as human beings. You know what I'm saying? But it's the negative using of a person that has the outcomes y'all saying. Like when Denise was given that scenario, I honestly do not see in that scenario where the woman truly loved that man. I just don't. I don't think a woman can truly love a man she cannot truly respect. And if I'm saying it like that, if a nigga just sitting at home doing nothing, I personally see it as that woman's insecure and thinks she can't do better, or she settled for him, not for what she wanted. And if something she wants come along and she start doing better, she's gonna go get what she actually wanted. And it was never him. He was a convenience for the time being that she got infatuated with.
In defense of that, usually in those situations, it's a man that fell and never got back up. You got women who it's like, okay, the man, he might have been working when you didn't meet him. He lost his job. You holding it down, thinking that this is a man who works because when you met him, he worked. That might have been the first job he had in years. You don't even know that. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? You thinking he a
I
working
was.
man.
Go ahead,
And
sister.
then now you with a sad, sorry nigga, but you done sat here and held it down and been with him all this time, thinking that y'all was gonna work on this empire, and you're the only person doing it.
Right. It's because you thought you could take in a stray. You thought you was gonna lift him up, and that's both ways. You know what I'm saying? I could fix her. It's something wrong, or it's something wrong with him. I could fix him and lift him up when he didn't deserve it, or she didn't deserve it from Jump Street. Because we wasn't using our common sense. Because common sense ain't common, and we don't use it. We are led with our eyes. You know what I'm saying? That's what stimulates us in the sounds. And, sometimes we're fooled. And that's what happens. You know what I mean?
Hypergamy is 99-1. That's what I always say. You know what I'm saying? If is almost genetically ingrained in a woman to go after the best mate she can possibly get, because that's whose child she wants to raise. So if maybe she settled for you in the beginning, but when she started moving up, she's around better type men, 99% of the time, she gonna leave you for one of them better type men. Or she gonna be fooling around
99.9.
with you with one of those better type men that she really wanted.
Hey, that's crazy. That's crazy you say that, James, because I was gonna suggest this. these women that's getting with these sorry ass niggas, y'all need to require something from them. They should be doing
Facts.
something.
Man,
That's a fact, man.
what's up, Yashu?
Big
What's
facts.
going on, Sabio? You know what I'm saying? That nigga shouldn't be on your couch in the first place. That's the problem. He on your couch.
Mhm.
Agreed.
A trade program. You know what I'm saying? He should be in a program where he can get a job and start providing.
You know what? Let's segue into this for a second. What a man should be, and then we can get into what a woman should be.
But hold up,
Oh.
because let me say.
Oh, go ahead.
There was a few things that everyone said. What up, y'all? My name's Sadie.
Shalom, Mike. How you doing?
Shalom, brother.
I just wanted to chime in on this conversation because I was listening in the chat, and it's something that I talk about a lot. And I was just talking about it with my homeboy the other day.
Hey, you keep going in and out like you getting further away from the phone or something.
My fault. Y'all hear me clear?
Yeah, that's better.
All right.
It's going back. It's going up and
Yeah,
down.
you went out again, brother.
Are you on the mic?
Damn, yeah. I'm right in front of it. It's right in my mouth.
You might want to try to just use the phone if you're on the phone. Use the microphone.
No, I'm on the laptop.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why then, man. Are you moving when you talk?
No, I'm sitting still.
Yeah, Savio, you're gonna have to figure out something else, man. You going in and out, brother. You going in and out.
Yo, that's better.
There you go. There you go. Say something.
Headphones. I took the headphones off. So, thing I was finna say is that when you talk about relationships, people do have to demand better from the person that they're supposed to be hooking up with. Because if they don't, then that person, no matter if it's the male or the female, they will continue to do exactly what they've been doing. And that's being lazy, sitting on the couch, not supporting, not doing anything. And that's because we allow those people as partners to get comfortable, you know? And when you expect better from yourself, you're going to expect better from your partner. And that's what me and my girl was talking about the other day. That's why I respect her so much, because she expects better from me.
I respect.
That's what I basically wanted to say on that.
Yeah.
True, brother. That's for real. That's what I was saying. We got to be growing. Like me and my wife, when we first got together, she was going to college. She got a couple little bachelor's degree, 2 or 3 of them on me. And, you know, I was doing music. I had been making money, but I was like, man, she is just growing on me, right? Man. So I had to start stepping my game up, bringing in more money. I really wasn't worried about the educational thing, but as her education went up, her paychecks was going up too, you know. And it's not about who make the most money, you know, because we're a team, but we got to build each other, you know.
You want to bring something to the table, though, in that
right?
Because as a man, that's your job, really. You know what I'm saying? So
and
you don't
protection, protection
exactly.
is the main one. We the hunters, but we also the protectors. And I see a whole bunch of these. I hate to say it, but a whole bunch of these brothers ain't protectors. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to protect their family, their household, none of it. You know what I'm saying? And when she sees you can't eat, look, she probably won't even be worried about you not being able to be the greatest provider. You know, they hunters. I know you didn't pick a worthless chick. You know, I know brothers be picking these huntresses. You know what I'm saying? But she might not have worried about that. But he can't even protect the home. You know, you can't protect me or none of this. She lose a lot of respect for him.
And it's nothing she can do about that.
Like, there's nothing she can
it's
do about that.
biologically ingrained in her to look for that. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
I don't know, because women do look for that. It's just that where they find it at, you all call them degenerates. But it's like in this day and age, you either have a man that's a provider or a man that's a protector. Rarely somebody that does both.
Why? You know what? Know why? Because they don't look for those that do both.
Hold on, let me answer something because that's interesting. I have a sister that comes on my panel and she says the same thing.
You're doing it again,
You going in and out, brother.
It was just working fine earlier. That's crazy.
There you go.
But anyway, I have a sister that comes on my panel and she says the same thing. What'll make you say that? that a man only knows how to do one: provide or protect. What'll make you say that men are being,
It's
our
rare
men
that you
specifically, are being raised like that?
yeah, because it's rare that you have both of them. You either have somebody who does their hardest to provide, right? And they were, usually they're like a person that's in school, they weren't in the streets, they weren't around, they were basically cultivated to be providers and to make money and to do that. And then you have the people who were more street oriented or who weren't in school and weren't doing this and weren't doing that, and they are more towards what women will view as protectors, because they go hard for the woman, they go hard for this, they hard for, they not gonna do that. Where you got the men who they might provide, but they ain't about to check nobody about their woman. They're not about to do this, that, and the other. We're not even about to be, what I'm saying, going out or doing any of that anyway. And it's not, what I'm saying. So you usually have what would view as one or the other. That's all. Like, what I'm saying. But it's like what you view as somebody that would protect you is what most people say are thugs. But that's what women see as somebody that's protecting.
Nah, I can't. I
Yeah,
can't let
I'm with
that
you. Go
job.
ahead.
Hold on.
Because
I
when
can't let
people
that
see
job.
that's what they think, that nigga going, oh shit, I called
No,
my
he's not.
dude up here
I
to
see.
do
I see what
this,
she's
that, and the
saying.
third.
I see
I
what she's saying.
I know where the
call
shoe for to come from. So
I do too. I do too, because I'm a man and I come.
How is that man that we're calling a protector? Hold on. How is that man that we're going to call a protector, right? That's most likely a thug. That's what we're talking about. We ain't saying the word. He's most likely a thug when he has a criminal record or he's going to get a criminal record. Be incarcerated and leave you alone, right? Possibly plant drugs in your home where your children are.
possibly touch them children.
Possibly touch them. Now your children are in risk and danger of being taken from you through CPS, Child Protective Services. That's not protection. He's putting you in danger.
Who are totally going in and out of jail, because everybody who y'all would consider a thug ain't somebody that's even been to jail or going in and out of jail. But it might be somebody that doesn't have the best education, and they were raised in a rough neighborhood or whatever, and they just not scared. But you got most of these men out here who are providers, whose woman will be the first one to stand in front of somebody and stand in front of him and protect him.
I think this is more about how
don't
women.
call my husband like that. Don't do this, because she don't even have the anything to think that he would be able to do it. She don't think he's a
That's why.
protector. She
That's
thinks
what
he's
I
a
say. I think it's
provider.
more about how y'all perceive us than actuality, right? Because women
But I have
usually
not
divide.
seen a woman do
I got you.
that and a man jump in front of her.
I got you. But what happens is women usually throw men in one or two categories, either provider or protector.
Or protector.
That's what they normally
and we
do.
We can't be both.
Yeah, they don't allow.
And I'm
for
both.
that.
I'm both.
When most men
Facts.
are both. Most men who are out here working, they're both. Most dudes in our community come from the hood. But they get up, they go out there, get a trade.
We're sheltered in a certain way, usually.
No, that's I don't see that as being fully true. I would say probably majority I'll give you, but most of the dudes, like for instance, what's his name? Chris was a hood growing up, sold drugs, all that. We got out of high school and all that. He went to the military with me. When he came back, he wasn't nothing like that no more. You would throw him into a provider category, but he would still whoop your ass. You step out of line fucking with him or anybody in his house or any of his partners. I know, because we got in fights downtown in Seattle behind somebody messing with one of our partners. So I mean, I think women just throw us in them categories.
I don't think they do it without knowing certain things about the person that they're with. If they
I think they assume on sight.
On sight? Oh no, I don't think that.
Yeah.
Let
me give an example. Let me give an example, right? Say we at a club, right? Chilling. or we getting ready to go to the club, right? I was typically this guy. Oh shit. Or just, doing shit, you know what I'm saying? Fucking around, doing crazy shit, fucking with people and shit like that. They look at me, right? They say, oh, he ain't scared to talk to nobody, he ain't scared to be in their face, he ain't scared of this, that. They automatically assume I'm a protector, right?
Right.
Another dude, he may be sitting there just chilling, quiet. He ain't very talkative too much. She prying at him to see what's going on with him. He really ain't responding. She automatically throw him in a provider. Or if he come in there looking a certain way, she automatically see him as a provider by just his appearance alone, the way he came in. While a dude like me can almost get away with saying anything to her. I can say bitch, hoe, anything. Because she see me a certain way, she fully accepts it. But that other
But
dude,
if
if he
you
did it, she'd be all in his face trying to fight him and shit. Behind
if
him
you
doing the
calling
exact
her,
same thing I just did.
We
I
talking
was gonna
about
say,
the
but if you
beta
calling
and the
her a
alpha
bitch and a
male?
hoe, then
Pretty
she
much.
wouldn't think that you was a
Right, because
protector.
she won't, she ain't gonna come at an alpha. She won't.
With that bullshit.
No, but a beta nigga pretending to be an alpha, she gonna be on that nigga. I don't see nothing wrong with it, personally. Put these niggas and these bitches in their place. For real. People out here faking it till they make it. That
But
ain't real.
that reveals something else, because women will get with that person that they
That
see as
faker.
a beta that allows them to speak to them in that manner because they can control them. That's another element.
Control, yeah, agreed.
You
But
can
a
tell
lot
that
of
nigga.
that grows in the relationship too. Like she probably wasn't doing that at
She
first.
grew up a
After she
controller.
got with him and she realized that he's this type of person, then that grew. Then that grew on it.
People learn their ways over their lifetime by the things they see and the things they get involved with, right? So it's either one or two things. She picked that up growing up, or she was involved in a horrible relationship that damaged her and
Oh,
has
that's
her that
Jane.
way.
What up, Jane?
But I don't
What's
think
good,
that's true.
Fabio?
Only because
Or
you know
Okay,
who
give
to
me a
play with and
third
who not to
scenario.
play with.
people,
Like
I hate to
you
say
just
it,
know
but
who to play
people
with.
usually pick people who are similar to their parents.
Mm,
So a whole bunch of these single parent homes is picking the same shit. You know, it's real. You know,
yeah. Because they picked up so many ways from their parent or that single parent that they
they've
think like
accepted
that
it.
single parent, they move like that single parent, and
Hmm.
without even realizing it. Like
Yes.
like I like my father was highly involved. We didn't live in the same household, but we're highly involved. I still to this day see traits in me that I don't like from my mama. You see what I'm saying? That I feel like, oh shit, wait a minute. I need to nip that in the butt because I get that from my mama. You know what I'm saying? And that's effeminate. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes when, you know, taking arguments to too much of an extreme, right? I had to teach myself to calm back on that because I feel like I get that from my mama. Because I told Jashub stories about my mama go to McDonald's or something, somebody get the order wrong, she ready to fight everybody in McDonald's. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I realized, like, man, when I get heated like that, I'm getting like my mama. So I try to nip that in the butt. But it's what I grew up with. You know what I'm saying? My daddy wasn't I'm a yell or nothing like that. My daddy was calm, cool, collected. You know what I'm saying? So you get both of them sides from me.
Right.
It's
I
times
showed
when I'm
got
calm, cool,
that from my
collected, but
stepfather.
when I turn up, I turn into my mama. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm the same way. I sure got that from my stepfather. My dad wasn't really in my life, but my stepfather, he was calm, cool, collected. I yelled, raised his voice. So my mom, she would turn up
We
quick.
losing you again.
My mom, she would turn up quick. That's probably just the way my mom, she would turn up quick. And it was crazy because, like you say, I find myself getting into situations where I'll be like, damn, I'm acting like her.
Exactly. But it just tells you an area you need to grow in. You know what I'm saying? That's all. That's how I take it.
But it teaches you to respect too, because like even though I didn't grow up with a father in my home, like my uncles, my mom's brothers were more like the father figure, and they were quiet men, right? But they were stern because
Mm-hmm.
they were all older. Like I didn't have younger parents, and my mom wasn't younger, so they were old. They were quiet, but when they said it, they meant it.
They meant that shit.
And
Yeah, I know
I
what
can
you mean.
respond to a man that hey, I said do this and that's what it is. And I don't have to raise my voice. But you got people who were raised upon with people raising their voice all the time. And so then that's like what they respect. You can't ask them to do something, say something until it gets to a heated moment. Then it's like, oh, okay, all right then. You know what I'm saying? So it's also
Yeah,
what you know what you grew up under. I
exactly.
can respect a man with a quiet voice because they still can mean what they say. Where some people might look at it like that nigga soft. That nigga look at it. Who he talking to? Who gonna listen to that? You understand what I'm saying? But I'm just respecting it because you're a man and they
Mm,
get it. They garner a certain type of respect. Period.
yeah.
But that's
I
not
mean,
given in many households.
Well, it's not
yeah,
demanded. These, I'm not gonna say it, but people are treated the way they treat others, and they want to be treated. You know, you ain't gonna cuss at me. You ain't gonna call me a bitch or none of this shit because I ain't accepting it. You know, and if they accept it, that's what they chose and accepted. You know, so we just got the shoe got to fit. The shoe is fitting for some of these niggas. They suspect, you know, for real, for real. And I look, I got to put the blame on some of these women. They letting this shit slide. I'm not throwing women under the bus. We'll never do that, but they letting it slide.
no, it's you right because it's both sides. Dudes let women slide with stuff because they happy to get some.
Mm-hmm.
Women the same thing. They think he cute. They like him. So they let him slide with a bunch of stuff in the beginning, and then they let it wait till it boil up to a point where they just explode with it. You know what I'm saying? And then the person they shocked, they taken aback because they like, well, shit, you've been letting me do this the whole relationship. Now all of a sudden you
Right.
pissed off. You couldn't have told me earlier. That's how most men react. You couldn't have told me earlier when I first did it. And then I would have known not to do it around you or something like that. Now it's a habit. I do it without thinking now because I've been doing it just to do it.
But women, like in general, in our community, they don't know how to communicate those things. You know what I'm saying? I think men don't know how to communicate either because we suck at communication.
Mm-hmm.
We suck at telling people, hey, I don't like this. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to open up on a can of worms, or we don't want that argument. So what we do is we try to avoid confrontation, but then it leads to confrontation down the road.
It's the worst confrontation.
Also, the
Right.
fact that people say they want somebody to be real, but then when somebody keep it real, they get offended.
Yeah.
And then another thing is too, like when you're talking about how we let things go with each other, you also got to realize that we do this with our children as well, which is how
Yep.
they also become degenerates. When you think that shit cute when they kids cussing, acting stupid, not listening, and then they get older and they have that same respect. Now it's a problem. Now you want to start nipping it in the bud when you should have did that in the beginning.
Exactly. Like my
Yeah.
6-year-old here, don't play none of. I don't play none of that. If I look at him and he think he doing something wrong, he straighten up because I'm gonna nip it in the butt off rip.
Right. That's how it was with my pops. He didn't even have to say nothing. That he was 6'4", big old buff brother, educated, smart, but the looks, you know, it was the eyes.
Them
I could
eyes,
feel it from his eyes. And I'd be like, oh man, no, sir. And it was always no, sir. Like it was a respect thing. See, that's built in the children. If we don't respect our spouses, if we're not saying thank you, ma'am, and when your wife says something and you say yes, ma'am, how do you expect the children to pick this up and learn it? You know what I'm saying? If we saying, I couldn't say, my father would call me Abdul. I couldn't say, yeah, daddy. I had to say,
yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I had to get up because I knew where he was at and present myself and say, yes, sir. You know, and it was respect. It wasn't that I was scared or anything. He was teaching basic respect. And
teach you how to be a man.
It starts with the children's teachers, the parents. But if they are lacking that, they can't teach what they're lacking.
You know, and this comes to another thing that I promote educational wise for the Black community. Charter schools, man. You can find charter schools that teach the way you want your child to be taught. You can create a charter school. Like as Israelites, you can create a charter school that teach Israelite history. If you are one of them Afrocentrics, you can create a charter school that's teaching Afrocentric histories and stuff like that. So we need to start taking initiative in the very areas, because a lot of these households they're single parent, you know. I won't say a lot, but some of them, these mothers are out here trying to make it, trying to work, or the father's trying to work, or they drunkards, crackheads, or something like that, to where there is no real education going on in the household for that kid to learn from, and they getting it from school and the streets. And I always advocate getting them in a charter school or something that teach the values you want taught, and after school programs that do the same thing if you don't have the time to spend with them like that.
Yes, if I can just say something, I want to agree with Sister Denise and Brother James, because it is about that modeling, you know. Brother James, as you said, you know, sometimes my conflict with my king man comes when we flip the roles, you know. My little brother had to remind me, you still acting like a single mom, but you're not a single mom. You have a king man here. You have a man here. And by you, you know, projecting a certain way, you're going to put him in a certain way. And at the same time, when he gets too emotional, like his mom, you know, and treat me like, I feel like I'm having an argument with a girlfriend. We got to stop and find our roles, because sometimes him being sensitive is what I need for a certain time, right? But when there's like when we live in Northern California, there's fires. Yo, you need a brethren out. We're freaking out. The children are freaking out. We need a brethren to be there to be like, okay, calm down. And that's what
I
I
got
love about my
this.
big man, is because he's thug. He is a thug, right? He grew up. He went to jail. He was in juvie. He was in jail, but he found the Most High, right? And that helped him, so he could bring his street knowledge, his survival knowledge, and bring it here to the house. But what the conflict we were having early on is I was having my survival single mama-ness that would clash with his survivalness. So, you know, men, sometimes when we attack them, you know, they don't feel safe. So they're like, well, what am I doing here? Why am I here? So I also can understand that. So I have a son, two sons, and I also tell them, you know, we women, we get really emotional. You've seen me go off. I need you to be a little bit more, to understand when you have a wife, when she goes off, you have to be calm. You have to let her just get it all out. Don't take it personal, and say, okay, are you done? And while she's complaining, you just strategizing. So you have a solution. Because really, a lot of times we just want to know as women that we don't
It's
have to
gonna be
always
all
come
right.
up with the plan. You know, we don't want to always come up with the plan. We got other things. We planning dinner, we planning clothes, we planning this, we planning that, we planning the bank. And what I love about my king man is I may be the more business oriented side, you know, he's more artistic. But in the business, he protects me. He'll tell me, oh no, I don't like that person. I'm not feeling the way they looked at you or said something or da da da. So even that sensitivity as a man, he could open that up. The Most High made it. I think when we look at Genesis, where Adam and Eve, our parents messed up, is, you know, it kind of got, Eve didn't talk to our father and say, yo, this snake is like, you know, he's like, you know, he's trying to come up to me. What should I do? She just took it upon her own initiative to handle that. And then he was, you know, he had to get her out. And then when the flip side, when the Most High was like, yo, what happened? Adam was like, yo, this woman that you gave me, she just messed up, you know?
Exactly.
So we just like right there in the beginning, it just showed where we just like mess up all the way. So if we as Eve remember to like have a discussion with our king man and be like, look, I want to do this, that, and the third, or talk to this person, or I want to plan this. What do you think about that? Now, even if he's like, I don't like that, you know, you still have to come to some decision. I've messed up and just gone opposite, and then that caused a lot of frustration my in my marriage. You know, I have to come back all humble. Well, you're right. I'm real sorry, and this and that, and then, you know, there's a whole bunch of layers. So it's trying to step in the right way. And then when we do make mistakes, even as women, when we're getting silly and emotional, to just go back and be humble and be like, yo, I messed up. But at the same time, sometimes my king man, in his mom feelings, when he get too deep in his feelings, he can really manipulate that, by not talking and by not answering or by not. And I just have to check and be like, this is what we're showing our children. Is this how you want them to have relationships? No, let's really, sometimes we got to have a family meeting and bring all the youth, the young people and the children and say, mom was wrong. Dad was wrong. Let's fix this. We just got to do that. Just try to help. And that's like the brother was saying, education, charter school, homeschool. We have to build from the house, not from what the heck's going on out there. Because the world got some bad advice. Advice. That's what they do. They add advice. So give thanks. Give thanks.
Yo,
Hey, I want to
yo,
say that
this-
was beautifully stated, sister.
yeah, it was. And
Praises.
she said a mouthful. And the one thing that I want to build on is the accountability part. She was really talking on how each individual in the relationship has to take accountability as a man and learn how to not only keep their emotions to a minimum, but learn how to use them in the right instances.
And I say this too, Sabio. She made a good point. I want you to get back in and go, but she made a good point about them helping regulate each other in those moments, not taking it too personal, and trying to hear each other out and work through the situation. You got it
Right. And that's good because you segue right into what I was saying. And this is one of the things that I learned a lot of, and it's kind of odd the way I learned some of these coping mechanisms and relationship mechanisms. I learned some of them incarcerated. And that's because the place that had me incarcerated in California, if anybody is familiar with the California Youth Authority, well, that's where I was incarcerated for 3.5 years, from the age of 14 to the age of 18. And in there, you had to learn how to deal with all different types of mental states in order to parole. I mean, I had to deal with rapists, child molesters, murderers, carjackers, and I was in there for violating parole. I mean, violating probation and breaking and entering. So
that's the apostle story right there.
So doing that for 3.5 years, knowing I had to figure out how to protect myself, and not only build relationships and work out, how to get up out of there, bruh, is a game. And you really have to learn how to balance it and keep your emotions in check.
I think she just coined a term because everybody in the back chat having a ball with this king man. She done how you gonna be mad at somebody? What'd you say, Denise? How you gonna be mad at somebody if they call you king man?
King man, right, for real. Good point.
Like, king man, what are you doing? They're like, you know what? Let me go ahead.
I'm gonna just sit down and
put my crown on.
Yeah,
try
exactly.
to be the king man at that moment. But I'm gonna let somebody else get it. That's interesting. But yeah, that's really what I wanted to say because I've learned. I'm still learning how to balance my relationships. So sometimes I do get a little over emotional. That's because I'm not used to a relationship like that, like the one I'm in now. When you're not used to it, it's something you have to work yourself into getting in.
You worry about things you never experienced. Yeah, I get it, bro. Yeah.
That's all.
Yashub, you look like you was ready to jump in.
No, I just wanted to chime in because y'all get a little bit too cute in here again. Everybody harmonizing. What y'all think about the way we select mates? Okay, so from the male side, a woman would be like, "You like hoes. That's what you like. You like ratchet hoes." And
attacked.
Yeah, for real. Like, and
I
and
say that.
if you was from the outside looking in, a woman could say that because the type of women, the caliber of women that these men are getting are those, and they're trying to make them
It's a
into housewives, and then in vice versa, women like what the thug.
Try to make
And you
him a
try to make
provider.
him a husband. Yeah, exactly. So
And you know what? I was having, these are some crazy conversations. I was having this conversation with my homegirl. Yeah. She was like, I don't know why I'm attracted to these thug ass niggas. I was like, you know what's gonna happen to you? You're gonna wait till you about 40, 44
Want a good man.
and want a good man.
Mm-hmm. And he ain't gonna. He either gonna be less than what
Gone.
she want, or he ain't gonna pay her no mind.
Ain't gonna pay her no mind. I say you pass people, good men buy because you want that fast thuggish life that it tends to bring.
Mm-hmm.
You don't
then they
want
hit
the
that
slow
wall.
money. You know, they don't want the slow money. They don't want the long grind, the hustle. See, I got a woman that's willing to help me build my landscaping business, you know. And she supports the fact that I don't want to work for anybody else. She supports that. You're not going to get many black women that's going to support that. I'm going to just be honest.
they want that instant gratification.
Yep.
They want that instant gratification.
And they
But
want
she-
that alpha nut.
But she knows I'm an alpha. But she knows I'm an alpha because she know I'm going to get out here and get my money no matter what. I'm going to work, do my job, do what I do, and I'm going to bring in my money and pay my bills. I'm going to do what I have to do to take care of myself and her.
Hey, but Savio, they gonna get that dude that we call good, right? Quotation marks. They gonna get him when that dude locked up. But she ain't never broke up with the dude that's locked up. You understand? No, I'm being serious. I'm being serious. Because if he go in and do a 3-year bid, that
He
other
come
nigga
home to
that
her.
yeah, that nigga that she wouldn't be with is gonna be there taking care of the kids, being a real man. And as soon as that nigga get his release papers, she kicking
Don't
his
leave
ass.
that nigga.
Exactly. Exactly. So again, it's about the mate selection. What the hell is wrong with black people and they mate selection? Why do they
Okay,
go?
so, but are you talking about a certain type of woman? Because clearly, when you're looking at a type of woman who basically is breeding in dysfunction, she's not going to um want a man that isn't dysfunctional, nor is she going to like
I
appreciate
agree
one
with
either.
Charles West.
So you can't really, what are the women that you're looking for? Because you can't go to a dysfunctional person why are you this way? Why do you want dysfunction? I mean, because they do. That's they're dysfunctional at this point.
No,
You
but
have to find
he's
somebody that's a
being
little bit more
deceived.
functional that's gonna appreciate you.
I agree, but he's being deceived because she's down on her luck. Her man went to jail and got incarcerated, and
She needs somebody to help her in the meantime.
right. So he's coming in green. He's coming in green. He's like, okay, this woman needs help. I want to be with her. She wants to be with me. Again, they interview well. That's the part y'all forget. They interview well.
Damn, he said the interview
It's a
goes
lot of
well.
men who look good on paper.
I
Yeah,
agree.
there's a lot
Who
of
look
girls that
good
look
on
good.
paper but has no substance.
Yeah, they're
Ain't
good on
that
paper. They can
interesting?
give you their whole resume, and they sound like they should be a good man. But they're not good man material. But on paper, it would look that way. Oh, he got a good
But
job.
how
He can work
long does paper
himself.
last though?
He
How
doing this,
long
that,
can you say
and
on
other.
paper? Like how many months is on paper still getting him by? That's the
It
question.
actually, if he can talk well, will get him back by a long time.
Just a
That
second,
means the
excuse
woman
me.
ain't doing her
I
due
just want to
diligence.
say, just quickly, I just want to
Oh,
say
go
that
ahead.
actions speak. Just to answer my brother James, just actions speak. So if somebody presenting themselves as long as possible, certain actions will start to present themselves
Exactly.
where somebody will be excelling or somebody will be lacking. So if he look, or the person, whoever you're trying to court, is looking good on paper, you should start paying attention to their actions. Are they staying consistent? Are they being considerate? Are they being respectful? But if they start slipping more and more and more, then you can see how things are going to proceed.
Yeah, how they
And
keep
Mm.
people around
And you
you.
know what? Living in the show me state, I have adopted the motto that they live by out here.
Mm.
Show me.
Facts.
Don't say it. Show me. Your actions will show me how serious you are about this relationship you want to be. You can tell me it. Nah, your actions is going to show me.
That sounds
Yeah.
great. But you have to invest something. You have to be
Yes.
invested in a person almost before you can see their actions is one. Two, it has been programmed, especially with women and even with men. You know what I'm saying? Like women can sit here and be like, like I'm trying to see what you about this, that. Oh, you a gold digger. Oh, you this, that, and the other. Because we want to see you take care of yourself before we try to build with you. But it's like, oh, you just looking to see what I got. I want to see that you are self-sufficient. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But then you got that stigma. You have so many of the young girls now, because I'm a little old now. So the younger girls now that I see, they so busy trying to prove that they're not a gold digger. They're not superficial. They don't just want you for their money. So they willing to build a bear or build a dude. You know what I'm saying? Because he talk about how much he trying to, and ain't never producing nothing. But if you're waiting on him to produce something, or you're going after somebody who looks like they are trying to be self-sufficient, you're now a gold digger. You're not all of this other stuff.
I'll say this. I don't mind a woman who deals with the guy because of his means to provide. I have an issue when she's not loyal to that guy. So I mean, if women won't just want a rich man, I have no issue with that. I have issues when you with this rich man, but you having Pookie and Ray Ray babies,
Amen.
and he think that they his. That's all, because that's the trade-off in a marriage. The trade-off is you raise my and have my kids that I will raise, take care of my household, and I will provide and protect for you. That is the trade-off. So the moment that is broken, I have issue.
Right, and that's why marriage has always been
Agreed.
an institutional social welfare system. That's what marriage was originally, and now Black people don't have it, and that's why we're impoverished, because we don't have that economic engine to drive us. But back with what you just said about her shoot, that goes back to what I'm saying. What I said initially, she will get that man that's willing to be the provider, take care of her children, take care of her household, and she will still get back with that jailbird. You understand? And like the scenario you brought up, she will be with that man that's quote unquote good, that's doing everything right, but she's still sleeping around and getting impregnated by niggas that ain't nothing. My cousin did the same damn thing. She aborted this man children every time she got impregnated, but the man that she really wanted, which was another married individual, she kept his baby. And that man was devastated after that. You understand? But he did everything right. Took care of her child that wasn't his at first, and she did him dirty. So my thing is, what is a man supposed to do in those situations?
Learn.
Well, one,
And
you have to learn who you're with though before you get to doing all of that. You understand what I'm saying? When you know who you're with, and if somebody is aborting all of your kids, they clearly ain't trying to have a baby by you.
Yeah.
So for you to keep trying to have a baby by them is dysfunctional on your part, to begin with. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like you are now just chasing a dream and everything else. And like the person was saying, like this is what people see. My mom was a kindergarten teacher. Yes, those kindergarten kids who play house, you can tell that all they have ever seen is dysfunctional families, because they don't even know how to play like they are the Huxtables or play like they got some sense. They yelling, screaming, and acting crazy with the dolls, with each other, and everything else because that's what they see, and that's essentially what they think that a relationship is. No, this is what made me stop and look at relationships because I saw these kids, and the one girl was on the play phone like with the baby sitting there waiting on food, yelling at some play dude that she had. They arguing, and they think this is a regular relationship, and they 5. You know what I'm saying? And you're growing up like this. You know what I'm saying? And that's not normal. But it's like when you get with these relationships, you don't understand why this person is acting like that. It's because that's what they think it's supposed to be. They think you're supposed to argue 80% of the time and be cool 20.
Make love the
Because
other
that's what
20
they
or
thought.
have sex
Yep.
the other 20.
Have sex
Yeah,
the
have
other
sex the other
20%.
Arguing sex. That's
Exactly.
how a lot of
Like
households is.
Unfortunately.
like the brethren was saying, this brother 49ers was saying, it is patterned off of our parents, like what we learn. And yeah, it's like we do kind of marry our parents. Hopefully some of us have functional parents, even if it was a single parent, like Denise, sound like her mom, that's why ones like myself, I would say with Sister Denise, it's if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So sometimes we sisters come in, we have strong moms who've always like, yo, you need to stand for something. You can't just get any old person up off the street. So I didn't, again with the brothers too, what are you looking for? Because I'm not the sister that's gonna be like, I think we want the good guys, definitely. I'm not, just with my king man personally, this is just like a relationship that happened 10 years ago, and I was a single mom, and he came in, and initially he was my friend, and I was kind of like, ooh, you were in jail? Huh? So I was kind of discriminatory about that, like, yo, because I'm usually with the quote unquote good guy, the good one. But the thing about the when we want to juxtapose between the good guy and the thug, I think in our society, initially in us as Hebrew people, the good guy is kind of sketchy because he'll fall for anything in this Babylon system. So I think initially, like, we kind of want the thug, we want the spook in the corner, we want that brother who got it going on, but not like sold out at all, but kind of stand on his square. You feel? So same with brothers, you got to know what kind of sister you're looking for. You want the sister in the book, or you want that sister looking at reality TV. So when you see ones like, oh, okay, now I ain't gonna be with a cat who's just playing video games. Can you create a video game? Then that's potential. I may take just on that. Oh, you nerdy, but you don't got a job because the system's all messed up. That's potential. And I think as women and men, we have to look at our relative partners. We are gonna marry our parents. I personally, my father wasn't around, so I got hoodwinked with the guy in Creole. We say belle rose, some a beautiful flower with no scent. You know what I mean? So sometimes you get a brother coming, they looking nice, all pretty like a rose, and it's a fake rose. So, he just coming to take your stuff. So I think, like the sister saying, we want to combine, and like the brother was saying, we want to combine economics. We want to build and grow, and we got to be really aware who want to take and who want to give. And we have to look at, in those relationships, male and female, is she a taker or is she a giver? Is he a taker or is he a giver? And that's what has broken relationships with me. Like, nah, this one's coming to take up all my kids' wick juice. Nah, I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? You better go.
Right.
You
You got to be able to find the
you
balance.
do nothing to
Got to be
replace
able to
it.
find the
You
balance.
gotta
But
go.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
But if you come in with
yeah.
some fruit and gardening, I'm about to play it. You making something. Okay. You may not have a
You got to
job, but you got
contribute.
an idea, and we can combine and work together. So it's about, again, I have married my mom in a way. Like the men in my life reflect my mom relationship, the way my mom is. So I've had to take the good, like, okay, this is what the Most High has showed me through my mom. Get a man like this. You know what I'm saying? Avoid my dad like that. You feel me? So yeah, so I have married what I'm used to, and that's what my mom raised me. So at the same time, because I've got with brethren who are like my mom, they can have that emotional thing too. So that's where I gotta check it. You feel me? So, but give thanks.
I say this, Eleazar Yasharala, uh, the three things feminists want, I completely concur. That's in the Thought Handbook in Thoughtology 101. The authority of a man, the advantages of being a woman, and the accountability of a child. That's a lot of what's going on in our community right now.
He said the Thought Handbook.
That's in
If
the
it's in
Thought
the Thought
Handbook.
Handbook, if that's what thoughts want, then hey, I agree. A woman don't want that. A
Exactly.
woman wants a man that will respect her and treat her like a woman, protect her, provide for her as she do the same, and make sure
And
that
lead.
things are good. That's it. I
And
want a
lead.
woman that
Don't
wants the
forget
same
that.
that I want.
Facts, brother. Facts.
Shit. I don't want a woman that just want to take all my money, just
Exactly.
lay
You
down
gotta
in the bed.
contribute something to the relationship. Like the Bible say, what a good woman, she go out and buy a field. You know what I'm saying? She invest in your money. She bringing something to the relationship. She ordering your household. She raising up them kids. She teaching them the ways in which you and her have agreed they should be raised. You know what I'm
And
saying?
just to add to that, if we have a righteous woman like that, that's what they initially designed for, to be the helper.
Exactly. She gonna if you got a penny, she gonna come back with a dime.
Right.
That's
You need
all.
$1, she gonna give you 20.
Yeah, that's all it is. Woman gotta bring as much to the relationship as the man is, because you gotta understand
Bang.
providing and protecting is a big thing. You know what I'm saying? That's major. You think about back in times when you didn't have police officers everywhere. If that man can protect that household, when the robbers get to coming, they coming straight at your house, taking everything they
Mhm.
want and need.
You know, do you think that we ostracize those that are good within our own community? Those that will make good mates, we ostracize them. The little nerdy chick, we don't want her. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
We do, because
yeah,
that's what
because
I'm 43, so I watched the Good Times and all the shows, the couple shows we had to uplift us, and then I watched even more, and that's all you see today. Even in these little cartoons, they got these little gay cartoons. It's two dads and raising the boy.
Yeah,
This is what we're seeing because we've actually just let the TV raise our children. They get to pick their channels and stuff. In my house, we got set channels for the children, and the ones that are showing those little gay cartoons or whatnot, we don't watch those because that's not how babies are made. That's not the dynamic of a household, and
exactly.
that ain't the way the father made it to be. You know what I'm saying? And yes, you got to see, like, that's what I said earlier. Most people, the smart people, will usually find the mate that's similar to her mother or father. You know what I'm saying? But some of us didn't have a mother or a father. You know what I'm saying? But the TV is what taught us, like I'm saying. So I was looking, or people be looking, and you think you want the skinny girl or this girl or that girl, the girl with a butt out and all that stuff. That's not what you really want, because as soon as you get her home and you make her yours, you want her to cover it up when you go out in public now, right? But it was acceptable when you guys was dating. It was cool. And that's crazy. We're dysfunctional. We got to
Yeah,
want more.
we're
You got to
delusional
choose a
in stuff.
partner that's going to build you up and you build with her. You can't choose a partner that's on the ground or down in the gutters and they're comfortable with being there. They're comfortable with being down there. And that's what some of us are doing. We're choosing stuff that's down there and it's comfortable with being down there. We could have a fall and that's okay. And somebody help lift us up. And now we're working together and building. But when it's just one person doing everything, they're going to get mad. They'll leave you. And especially when you ain't providing or protecting. Your ass is grass.
Mm.
And
I'll say,
carrying all the weight gets heavy. Go ahead.
I would just say another thing I think that is, because to Jashu's point, let me say real quick, a lot of reasons why people are ostracized for reasons. I must say that a lot of times it's because, let's say, the nerdy girl, right? There's usually some personality quirk or antisocialness or something like that with it, that that puts her in that situation. So a lot of times you do skew away from that because of her personality, you know, like especially like when you're coming from the hood per se. You can't be weak, right? You just can't be. So if you meet a girl that, yeah, she seems to check all them boxes, but she just seemed weak to you, like my family, for instance. Lionesses everywhere that's waiting to devour and pounce on. I'm my mama's only boy, right? So my sisters are extremely protective when it comes to that. So when I look at a girl, if she's somebody that I'm seeing that can just be ran over, I know she can't make it in my family. You see what I'm saying? And that nerdy girl wouldn't be able to make it in my family. Now that we're a lot older,
I agree with
That's
that. I
wrong.
agree with
Because what
that.
if she was nerdy and strong? That's
oh well,
going
if
back
she
to that
nerdy and strong,
protector thing.
we would be married already with about 3 kids.
Go to these
Right.
nerdy and strong.
I
Represent.
agree. I kind of
Married
agree.
already
The
with
nerdy
I
don't
was
need to
kids.
stick
engaged
her
to
head
a
in the
nerdy
book.
strong girl like that. I was engaged.
Nerdy and strong.
Yeah, I've been engaged to a nerdy girl, but she not for to play no games with you. She not for to let you just walk all over. She not for to let you treat her any kind of way, but she's soft-spoken. She know how to use her feminine wiles to make her point without being, without trying to pull quote unquote dick out and act like a man. You know what I'm saying? She knew how to use that. She know how to, and I loved it, but I just moved
Okay.
back down to Houston.
So
Okay. Now,
Joshua, let me give you a personal example right quick.
all right.
So back when I was like 18, 19, me and my best friend met up with 2 girls, right? He ended up succeeding with his shorty. He was tonguing her down, all of that, right? So I'm mingling with this other chick, and then all of a sudden I mentioned Dragon Ball Z. She went off on me. She's like, "You ain't no real man. Real men need to be talking about money. Don't bring up Dragon Ball Z." Da da. She went off, and so that was me and my awkwardness and being a nerd and authentic to myself. But come to find out later that she ended up going for that what she was looking for, and she ended up having 3 kids. And I'm not talking about her status or anything, but she didn't come out on the other side. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, she became hood trash. We understand that. She's a.
Damn, y'all shoot.
You said it better than I did.
The thing is,
Oh,
success is the
oh,
best
God.
revenge,
Big
though,
head.
y'all. You
Let me
got to
tell you
remember,
why, though.
success is the best revenge. So when you run across that girl 5-10 years later and you shining, and
Right,
she
I
down there
agree.
with the same thing, it was just a good thing. That's the Lord looking out for you. You got to look at it, bro. You feel me?
But
You got to
it
look
just
at it.
goes. I agree everything that you said, Abdul. But it just goes to show that there is a division and ostracizing with people who don't fit into the mold of what everybody else thinks.
That's a fact.
Oh, let me give y'all a personal example with me. I was
Go ahead.
about 14 years old, and I was in a group home, right? This was right before, like 5 months before I went to the California Youth Authority. And there's this beautiful girl, beautiful young lady. Everyone in the group home had been trying to get on. Now, all of these guys presented themselves as thugs that had been known her way before me. This was my first day seeing it. I walked her to her house. We're all sitting outside of the group home. All of us, it's 6 of us. We're all sitting outside just talking, getting to know each other. She comes walking up the street. They're like, "Oh, hey, Shamani. Hey, Chico, whoopty whoop whoop," trying to shoot their shot. She walked by him. Me, I get up off the grass like a gentleman. I walk with her, start talking to her, introduce myself. Walks into her house. She makes me some tacos. We chill for about 2 hours. I go back to the group home. See her a couple days later. Go into her house. Next thing I know, she's kissing me, telling me I'm her man. Them guys tried to fight me every day behind that door. Just interesting.
Beta man.
So she never been treated nice before.
I don't know. That's just how I've always approached women, though. I got that from my stepfather.
Just be cool,
But see,
calm,
that's that
collected, let her bring it to you.
Cool, calm, collect.
And the dysfunction goes
Facts.
into don't
I mean,
forget that women
it's
who've been sexually
dysfunction, but at the same time, it's
abused.
not though.
What?
Wait a minute.
Denise, you don't think there's a
female
division?
who've been abused.
That's self-contradictory. It's a dysfunction, but it's not. That can't be possible.
That's different.
Oh, and she was raised with her mother and father.
But see, that's
So-
why the young females and young males will go outside of their community and find somebody else, because it's been accepted and normalized to be mistreating each other within our own and
Yeah.
ostracizing within our own. That's what I'm saying. Black people don't respect each other, they don't love each other, and we like what Nerdy Brew went through. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you listen to Dragon Ball Z. Now she went with some knucklehead that probably stay in and out of jail and don't take care of his take care of his kids. So
Yeah, but I feel like the same dysfunction that's in women is also in our men. I have a lot of
It's a different
men
type.
who will talk to me, and it's because I am not the type of women that you all are talking about, right? So because I'm not somebody that's about to tear them down, that expect them to give me everything they got, that is somebody who will try to build them up, who will listen, who will be like, okay, well, ooh, why don't you try this or why don't you try that? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm in a business field, so it's like, well, why don't you go towards here? Or, well, these people are hiring, or this people is doing this, and I'm willing to be a good friend and a good woman that will help somebody out. They'll try to just date me off that alone. It might not be nothing else, but it's just the fact that I'm different than every other person that they've seen who done tried to tear them down or dog them or anything else because of a situation they've run into or hard time or something else. And so it's the same
Well,
kind
because
of
they're not
dysfunction
used to
that's
that.
with the woman too. That they're not used to, but it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, okay, well, but then they still don't know how to treat a woman that does that because they're used to dysfunction.
And that's a great point. And that's a great point. And that's why these conversations are good. And these are the type of conversations I have over on my channel sometimes. And the thing that we have to learn how to do is listen.
I'll add this to the conversation. I think that the U.S. government has taught our women to be men or attempt to be men.
True. Or attempt to be men. And that comes through what? We already know. The mindset of protecting us from being what? Killed by the slave master or the white man. So, but that mentality has to do what now? It has to shift. We have to do what? Sit down and have real conversations with each other about why we hold these positions.
Yeah.
And I think one of the brethren was saying that the TV, I mean, some of us were, was raised. I mean, I was raised by the TV. Definitely.
I wanted a girl like Moesha.
Yeah, man. And then what about the sexual trauma? I was trying to mention that to Sister Denise, because we know how we have some sisters and friends, and we've had our own personal. I don't know. I know I have, but you've seen women friends of yours who've had sexual traumas, and then they just dropping bodies. You know what I mean? They sleep with this one, they sleep with that one, they sleep with this one, they sleep with that one, and you're like, wow, So that's something that has to be addressed too.
That they don't value their sexuality
of Black women.
Well, they're using it as a weapon.
They're
using it as a weapon.
Not
Sex is a
even
weapon
using it as a weapon, but they feel like that is what they are worth. Somebody made them
right. That's what, not as a weapon.
And therefore,
exactly
they feel like that is what they have to offer somebody. This is what I am to you. This is how
I've been
I'm gonna get a
devalued
man.
to a sex
This
object.
is how I'm going to keep a man. This is how all of this stuff, and even when it does not work, it's not because she's doing something wrong. It's because of the man. And she's not seeing anything else, but you can't really see anything else as much as women are objectified. And as much as women are put down for that shit, by that time that she is at the age of or something realizing that sex is not what's going to get a man and keep a man. Now every man is calling her a hoe and used goods and she ain't worth shit and this, that, and the other because of sex. But then at the end of the day, you're saying that the sex is not what's going to keep a man and what's important. But then at the end of the day, it's the reason why you're saying she's not of value.
Well, sex is not gonna keep a man, but a woman's body count damn sure matters to a man. Men don't want the village slut, yo. Like, who wants to sleep with a woman with bodies on top of bodies. Who gonna wife that? Now I might sleep with her, but who gonna wife that?
Now I'm gonna
But
be honest with you.
But the
Just speaking from my own
yeah,
We
position,
can't save her,
it,
but we can add
definitely.
to the
yeah,
body count.
nah,
that's it.
I'll say this for
Nobody that
myself.
cares.
Is Shorty right with me? If she's stopping at me, if there ain't no high more body count, any more numbers around me, then I ain't tripping. Long as she providing what I need in our relationship, then that really don't
Well,
matter to me. It's the quality of the person that I'll rather deal with.
You speaking about a rare
right,
woman. That's
right.
all I
But
gotta
what
say. A
happens
really rare
when
woman.
that is a rare that she is? Because what happens
That's
if
not
you can't
rare.
afford to
What
move
the
out of your neighborhood or none of that stuff? And then your friends start hearing from their friends and other people and all this stuff. That's going to split that relationship up. They're going to be like, she got
Yeah.
150 bodies. They got pictures
150?
of her. Pictures are going to come
Yeah,
on, man.
she
Let me tell you
online.
what.
She
Now
on
that's real. But
Yeah,
as for
she's
me,
online
if
and
Shorty
stuff.
good with
That's
me, then I'm not gonna that happened in the past.
That chick gonna have to
Yeah, they
move
be
out of her
lying.
city. Hold on, Denise. That chick
yeah.
gonna
And
have to
it's a
move
That's
good
you
out.
right.
it's a good
She
story
can't
Her
be in
behind
her
city.
it.
She gonna
city.
have to move out the
Sure,
state. She got to move out
Listen,
the state.
how she
Why?
gonna be in the same city? Hold on. How she gonna be in the same city? Got the same all this on her jacket, right? She got a train ran on her. She been a host since high school. Niggas from that community that know her, they not finna wife her, man. I don't care what nobody's on this. You not finna wife her. She
That's
gonna
why
have
these
to
women
move
be
far
flying out
away.
and marrying niggas.
Yeah, she gonna have to start. She gonna have to start over. She look, that vagina gonna have to be born again in another state. It's
I
gotta be
mean
born
that
again.
does make sense, but that also is part of that, taking a woman from her house and building it with the man with her
Yeah, I
husband.
take a
You know what
virgin
I'm
woman
saying?
from my house. How about that?
But it's the same thing. It's
yeah.
the whole point in that though is
Or
to take them from that environment because now you are starting over and you
look,
are
look,
building
if,
from
And
if I
that's
put a
again,
if I put a
if it's a
dog
woman
in
who's
the
ready.
jungle, it's a dog. I put a
Yep.
dog
yeah.
in the streets is a dog. I put it in the sandbox, it's a dog. A hoe is the same thing. No matter where you put her, she's a hoe. When
So
things go
somebody
bad,
that
Exactly.
she
had
gonna revert. Oh, let
so
me just finish
somebody
this
that's
one
I
point
just
and
wanted
y'all
to
got it.
say,
Hey Denise, let me just finish this one point. Y'all got it. When all things go bad, she will revert back to her hoish ways. Y'all got it.
And the same thing, it's vice versa too. You absolutely right. It's vice versa. People always fall back. That's why people end up getting back with an old a partner from years
Exactly.
ago. Is because we don't. It's hard to start something new when you feel like somebody done crushed your heart and put it through the meat grinder. You know what I'm saying? So you go back and be like, but she did do this and she was nice to me. She did have these good little sexual favors she did and whatnot. But then you forget about all the bad stuff that made you leave her or him in the
Mhm.
first place. We
Hoping
got
they
to stop
change.
being scared. Right. We got to
and
just keep on.
like,
When you fall, you didn't take a step back. You got up and kept pushing. Right.
Yeah, you
So,
got to
that's why I
reevaluate
was saying
yourself.
earlier, you got to upgrade. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? If you got with
yeah.
the same thing, you ain't upgrading. That's not an
Mhm.
upgrade.
You stagnant.
And the
You're
brethren
right.
said, if this sex is
Yes,
being
sir.
weaponized, the sexuality and all that is being weaponized. So we have to definitely see it as a weapon of the Hashetan, and be strong. Now, if a woman is, I repent, I want to go Israel, the Most High showed who I am, yes. Leave that old background, leave that state, get celibacy, expect the Most High to bring that man. And if you happen to be that man in this woman in this state, yes, or the whorish brethren too. It's for both, like you're saying. That sex is being weaponized, and right now the sheep, everybody, the wheat and the tare are being separated. The sheep and the goat are being separated. And it's a time for us to um, upgrade our standards and upgrade the standards of our children and our young people. That's most important too. It's like proper procreation. That's what I try to instill to my young adult children, like proper procreation. We want a good seed, So I think that's the most important thing. Is it a good seed? Are we planting good seeds?
They
So that's
call a
what
male
Right.
thought a whoremongerer. They call a female thought a hoe for a reason. You know what I'm saying? It's not It's not per se negative for a man to have multiple children with many women. That's not negative, especially if he can provide for them all. That's not a negative thing. But for a woman, it is. And no matter what country you go to, No matter where you go in human history,
And
a
that's
woman
just
having
biased because women also are second class citizens no matter what country you go to and all throughout history. So
that's untrue. I mean, one of the
I
most
don't know
powerful
if she was married and both the
in
man.
Britain, the
Okay,
most
go ahead.
powerful person in the world right now is a woman.
what does that have to
Brit?
do with across the T and
No,
T?
I'm just making.
It's a bunch of black billionaires. That doesn't mean it's not hard for black people. Like, I mean, what does that have to do with what I had to say?
Well, you were saying pretty much that throughout human history, has been this great bias leaning
Yes.
uh
Throughout
towards men.
history, women
Yeah,
have been
You
women are
want
used as
to
property.
let's take
I agree.
a look at this from a real perspective, right? Back to the main point. Men is always, and it's not just because they're men that it's okay for them to have multiple wives or partners and stuff throughout history. It's not just because of that. It's because if a man has a bunch of women, everybody knows who the daddy is. Everybody knows who's responsible for these women and these children. If a woman is having multiple men, who the daddy at a time when you ain't got DNA tests? Who's going to be responsible for that? Second thing, because men's role is to protect and to protect and provide, as long as he can do that, he can protect and provide for as many women and children as he can. Women are not protectors, they're not providers, they are the protected and the provided for. The trade-off in a marriage for a woman is the woman is going to be what's the word for it? Well, she's going to be monogamous. She's not going to have no other man's children but the man she's married to. That is the whole reason the man married her. This is the agreement. I'm going to take care of you for the rest of your life. All you got to do is not sleep with other men, have my kids. That is the base level agreement in marriage. A man can do that with multiple partners. A woman cannot do that with multiple partners. There's a huge lot of reasons why it's like this. It ain't just because of biasness.
Hey, James, I gotta lay me back off that, man. What's being advocated for gynocracy is in the black community right now, and it's whooping our ass. Our women rule. Our women do have multiple sex partners, and how is it working out for us? It's very negative. The impact of it is very negative. That's why we're so disparaged, because of this gynocracy and the fact that women are polyandrous. That's a fact. They see nothing wrong with having multiple sex partners. They see nothing wrong with having multiple fathers, right? So now we look at the structure of our community. It has been destroyed completely. That's why it's been allowed. That's why the government incentivizes it. That's why Democrats push for the welfare system. That's why they push for it. They incentivize the bad behavior, because as long as that goes on, we can't stand as a damn nation. We can't stand as a group. We can't stand as a polity and get anything done, long as you keep that family divided and destroyed. Exactly. So you got that gynocracy. You got it where you women in our structure are the first class citizens. Males are the second class citizens. Exactly. It's going to continue to be that way as long as it's ran that way. Go ahead, James.
Oh, no, I'm with you. Shit, I ain't got nothing to say to that.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Name me one.
I agree. I mean, with the father, I agree. I think what you were saying, the system before where the father was one, and that's the economic development that helps to economically develop a community. Now we're in a situation where sisters, now we're in this mixed multitude of families, and I think it is time for us to still say, okay, we're in this hot mess, but let's get together. And the sisters and the brothers have to say we are in and locked in. Forget about what the world is doing. But I agree with you. I know that the patriarchal system was to protect us and to keep us in there. And again, there was no DNA, so it had to be. But this society and how it breaks up and these wars that separate, all these scheduled wars, when we start waking up, all of a sudden wars happen, and that's another way of uh, defragmenting the community. So we just have to stand still and stand strong. And some of the brothers have to be the kinsman redeemer. Some of us got to come in like Ruth. Some of us got to come in like, I think it's Hosea the prophet with the wife, with Muhammad and all. That's that story right there is to say there are situations where a sister and a brother could under the Father, under the Most High, could really make it happen, in communities, and we can be more strong. So I agree with everyone. I agree with all.
I would say the only way a whoremonger or a whore can be properly reformed goes to, like the sister was saying, I think they would have to get under a social structure that promotes the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. That's just where I stand at. That's what's going to save our people. That's what's going to get our people to working together and galvanizing our strengths together. But I'll say again, men build shit. As long as you have somebody needs to be, as long as you have men not being put forward as in their rightful place, nothing in our community will be built, because men build governments, men build institutions, not women.
Right. I was just discussing this with my
Except
wife.
for the fact that you men don't do your job. So
You
Right.
right.
therefore,
You right.
what
We
are
help
you talking
maintain
No,
about?
it.
I'm with
We
you there. I'm with
maintain
you
it.
there. I'm with you there. Men
You
aren't
right.
We
doing their part.
maintain it. You build it,
Because
we
it's not
maintain it. And that's
Correct.
our role.
It's a 50-50
yeah,
thing, though. Like
it's
the sisters are
not
saying,
that women
it's a
are
50-50 thing. It's a 50-50 thing. And as long as one thinks he could do it, that's not what the Father said. That's why he gave us her as a tool. And men don't utilize their tools. We got to be honest. You got to utilize the tools. I got a whole bunch of tools in my garage, and they're for specific jobs. My woman is for a specific job, and she is the most important tool. She is to usher in my forthcoming. I'm going to live through her. That's what it's about. That's what children are about. You know what I'm saying? And if the daddy ain't shit and got with the mama and she ain't shit and she's a hoe, guess what? That's damn near 100% chance that those children's ain't gonna be shit and hoes, bruh.
That's a fact.
We got to
That's
be
a fact.
honest.
Yep.
We got to be honest. You
No,
don't breed
I'll
a
give you the
bad pit bull.
caveat.
I'm gonna just do what. Okay, go ahead.
I give you the caveat. Got Abdul. The woman could be a good woman, and he can be trash. The likelihood that those children are still going to come out wrong, are still going to come out bad.
50.
High. It's very high.
50%. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what this government is banking on. Because again, the prison industrial complex is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Child support is a multi-billion-dollar industry. These people are getting rich off our failures. You understand? And I was speaking to my wife about this the other day. Black male children are being targeted in the schools, being rolled up successfully. Because why? They're getting ready for them to be incarcerated. They're tailoring them to be incarcerated. That's the point. That's why your son is getting rolled up for frivolous things that regular boys do. Oh, he was running in class. Okay, he's 6. You understand? He's a growing boy. You have to write him up and sentence him to after school detention, but they're getting these boys ready for that. You understand? On the opposite side, our women are excelling in the educational fields, right? They're excelling. They're not being targeted like that. That's done by the goddamn design. You understand? Now, I'm not making excuses for anything, but we should know these pitfalls are in place to set up this gynocracy so women rule over males. You understand? So when you're dealing with the black community, you want to talk about second-class citizen, it's that damn black male that's a second-class citizen. Our women rule over us. They far surpass us in all fields, politically, education, and in the job field. Period. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
It's true. And in a way, as a woman, as a humble woman, sometimes you have to be like, let me bow, let me go back, let me fall back. I mean, saying as a woman, I see all the things that's against them. If I'm mad, if I'm this, I can call police, I can do this, I can do that, I can kick back, all this. But if I don't listen to that voice of the Most High, so I gotta listen to that voice of the Most High and say, fall back, let him do what he's supposed to do as a man. So we women gotta be like, oh, look at this wicked whore system, this Babylon system, and don't follow her ways. Don't F Cardi B and all them bitches. Fuck them. Just burn in hell. They gonna burn.
Right. Right.
But also, the men have to hold each other accountable, which none of you do. When a man is the only person that corrects other men. If a woman does it, it's not listened upon, it's frowned upon, and everything else. But men aren't raising boys. Men are correcting other men's behavior. So then we have constant men who are not the head of the family. The head of a household, when a woman is the head of the household and that's her house, then the head of the household is the police. It's not the man. You don't want to be a provider. You're okay with being in her house. You're okay with doing all of this stuff, and you're okay with being a second-class citizen in your home because it's easy. But your job wasn't meant to be easy. You have that unfair job of being a man and being a black man. So therefore, no, your job isn't going to be easy. That's what she's there for, to help you out. But if you're okay with being docile and being second class in your own home, then get treated as such, then that's what it is. Women, we are not, yeah, we can make more money, but we're still not going to be the head of the household. The man is still supposed to be that, whether we have more education, more money, or not. But the men don't see themselves as that. And so
Amen.
therefore, you don't
Well, they
have
scared
a
too,
man
sister.
that is the head of the house.
Well, they scared. The brother Charles got it up on the screen. The system and the institution are designed against the black family, and especially the black man and the black boy.
Yeah, but
You
the thing, we're
understand? The
talking about your
laws and
household,
everything.
though. I'm
Well,
talking about
yeah,
in your house. In your house, you are the head of that house. And
right.
men are not doing that. You're in the house with the woman, with the child, and you're not being the head of the household. You
Well, they
are that
weren't shown,
man.
sister. They mama was the head of the household as they mama was before them. Where was the man at to teach them how to be the head of the
But that's what
household?
I'm saying. So therefore, then we have all of these men on here who are very, very y'all are very congruent in what y'all see. But are you holding other men to the same standard that you see? Are you holding your friends? Are you holding other men in
Mm-hmm.
society? Are you holding these men up? Because no, they may not have had a father or whatever, but when you have a brotherhood or another man telling you and showing you that this is the way, and this is how you make a nuclear family, and this is how you are a the head of your household, then you would get men who will learn how to do it.
Sister Denise is saying, your kingdom. Be head of household of your kingdom, your king man, and we're the queen. And yes, they have been some societies where the queen, the matriarch, and that wasn't functional. So I back up my sister on that. Keep it accountable.
I mean, we all agree that we should hold men accountable. I don't think nobody on the panel is saying men are without fault in anything. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's saying that. You understand? It y'all should know me. I tell grown ass men that they got to get their reading proficiency up. They got to get
Right.
a damn
You hear
job.
Abdul?
I do that all the time.
I be holding the flame to their feet, just like you, Yashub. Y'all know. So it ain't all of us. Some of us is afraid of confrontation or whatnot, but some of us black brothers is out here doing exactly as you stated. We accusing these niggas and holding the flame to their feet.
Right. That's true.
Yep.
That's true. Because again, it's going to take both parties to correct this. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take both parties to get us out of this hole that we in. And it took, 100 years to make it? It's going to probably take twice that to fix it. And that's just a fact. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
So, at the end of the day,
I think it starts to recognizing our problem. Like the same way that black men should hold black men accountable, I think that it's women's job to show women the way. Because a lot of the reasons that you can have a really good, strong black man, but if the woman doesn't know how to receive that or be a good woman to that man, then it's still gonna fail because she too busy just, you know what I'm saying, not respecting, you know, his position in her life. So we have to teach the women as well as the men have to teach, you know, the other boys and men how to, you know, how to walk in this light.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know what that takes? That takes the dominating influence. We got to remove that influence, whatever that may be. The sister brought up Cardi B. Cardi B might be raising a lot of daughters right now throughout America, and they're going to mirror her. You know what I'm saying? They're going to mirror her actions. Now, is Cardi B the role model that we need in the black community?
Not one bit. She didn't even let her kid. She said it on one of the grams or something that she don't let her daughter listen to WAP.
Yeah.
Come on, man. So these, you feel what I'm saying? That should have spoke volumes. You know, ain't no twerking, ain't no shaking no booties in this household. I ain't raising no hoes, no thoughts, no victims. You know what I'm saying? I'm raising a strong black young woman. That's what I'm doing. I don't know about everybody else, but you know, that needs to be the goal. You know, we got to raise these children up, you know, period, point blank. It ain't the same. You know, people is putting their parents in the old retirement homes and everything. You know, that's not how it was meant to be. You know, it's just like it say in the book, you know, the old will take care of the young will take care of the old. It's supposed to be that way, but that's not how we're seeing it. It's just everybody's adopting and falling complacent with what society is giving us. You know, we wouldn't have had this thug problem if we'd have had our own Hollywood. You know, we wouldn't have let Boys in the Hood come out. We wouldn't have let Menace to Society, New Jersey Drive. See them, you know, them was the movies that had my age and my generation pumped up. We was like F going to school, F going to college. That's for them square ass niggas. I'm in the street gang banging, selling, getting money, and getting bitches. You know how messed up that was? You know how many brothers then died and been and is in the pen just from that right there, those movies, you know? And that's the stuff that's being flooded into our neighborhoods and our communities. You know, big old gigantic Newport billboards, a Planned Parenthood, liquor store, 2 liquor stores on every corner damn near right across from each other. They don't have this in their gated communities and in their towns. But we accept this shit.
Cash check and
You know what I
play.
mean?
Hey,
Yeah, check cash and all this stuff. Mm-mm.
yeah, you're right. You're right. And to touch on the films and the movies, we internalize all of those things, and then we try to mold ourselves by it, and we judge others by it as well. Like you'll say, "Oh, he ain't a real nigga. He ain't done nothing." What do you mean not done nothing? That's a child. You want him to have
Right,
a body?
right.
He gotta have 2 bodies. You know what I'm saying? He gotta sleep with every woman in the town. He gotta have all these things to be considered what you call a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? And that's the dominating influence in our community now. It ain't going to school, you know what I'm saying, being a chemist. We're not judged by that or going into real estate, having a trade, you know what I'm saying, building an empire. It's not that. The dominating influence in the black community is either gang banging, thugging, selling dope, making these women whores, slutting them out. That's what we look at and we admire. And we put to the forefront in the black community. We put those people in the forefront. And then wonder why we messed up, wonder why we in the bottom, wonder why we impoverished. Majority of black families are impoverished. I think the average household is worth what, $12,000 or something like that. The average black male household, black family, is like $12,000, while the average white family is like $140,000. That's a big discrepancy, man. It's because we out here playing games. We're following everything, like you said, in Hollywood has told us to be. You understand? It's not cool
Right.
to be smart in the black community, especially when you're young. It's not cool to be smart. It's not cool to do the right thing. But it's cool to be nefarious. It's cool to hit licks. And it's cool to slut out your damn women. Now we talking about wifey material.
Right.
We ain't get no wife material. We slutting out every damn woman we put our hands on.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? So again, we got to have counterculture at this point. We got to have something that can combat all these forces that plague the black community daily. We got to have something, man, because these people ain't gonna do it. I put the article with Ridley Scott and Rupert Murdoch. You know what I'm saying? They don't want no positive imagery or nothing outside of you being a damn drug dealer. Because what's that movie with Denzel, Blue Magic? Who was he playing as, Pookie or whatever?
American Gangster, Frank Lucas.
They funded American Gangster to be an all-black cast. Ridley Scott had no problem shooting that movie with an all-black cast because they want that imagery, right?
Right.
But
right.
when it comes
with
to
the music to go along with it.
Right. But when it comes to shooting a film about blacks being in a royal class or being in ancient Egypt or whatever, they can't get a black cast. Now Rupert Murdoch, Fox Studios, Lionsgate, now they can't give you the money. Now they can't fund that project because they don't want that type of imagery out there.
It's true.
Yeah, it's counterproductive for their system. Again, there was no jaywalking, no loitering in public. They didn't worry about them getting drunk or nothing. But today, that's what we're getting locked up for. They're pulling us over. They told us it was cool to sell dope, be pimps, and just like you said, pimp out our women and be absentee fathers and all that stuff. When that isn't what the Most High wanted us to do, because we're Hellenized. We're prisoners of war. I always say that because they can come in your house and take your child for any reason. A neighbor can call some bullshit and have them come checking up on you in your house. If they don't like something you're doing, they could snatch your kids with the power of the government. So you can't be free if they can come take your babies. That ain't free. And we got to get out of this. We're pumping this and celebrating this thug nut-ass behavior. We're doing it. Even though we're not the number one buyers of this music, we're bumping it the loudest in our cars, and we at the club shaking our asses on Friday. Worked all week long to make money and pay the bills, but you got to get a break, and on your break, you're going to take it to the club and shake your ass and spend $100 or try to get some niggas to buy you some drinks. That's ass backwards.
Yeah, you're right, Abdul. That's why I stopped going. Like, what's really the benefit?
On top of it, on Sabbath, on top of it.
Right.
That's where they think they're gonna find a soulmate in places like that.
That's where they find their baby daddies. That's exactly where they be finding their baby mamas and baby
daddies. We also have to give ourselves some more, like, you know how they say, okay, well, we have to give an array of things to do. We cultivate that culture as well, because I can go all around Cleveland and find a million black clubs. But how many are going to be catering to an adult crowd, a different atmosphere, things like that? You rarely see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's looking for older people, but you don't see it. And so, you have some that used to, when I was younger, used to be, okay, you can't wear tennis shoes here. Ain't no fitted hats. It's no tee, no big tees. No sagging
they got a proper dress code
in this club. So therefore, when you come in here, when you have a certain attire, we're going to play a certain type of music, and we have a certain atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? But now we don't have that. We have that. We just have more strip clubs popping up, more of the what y'all call them, the nigga clubs popping up, where it's just a bunch of crazy behavior, and it cultivates that, and it makes it okay, and it brings it all together, and it's somewhere to go every weekend, after hours, or every. So then, when you don't have any alternative, you got the people who in there with everybody sitting on the wall, sipping a drink. Why? Because they just didn't have nowhere else that they could go to go kick it on this Saturday night. So we also have to stop making that our own thing as well. Like, we have to come up out of that as well.
Right. Because it's crazy. My brother called me out there in Texas. He said they had drive-through strip joints open. during COVID. Bitches are stripping with
Yeah,
masks
they did when
on
it first started.
outside. What the fuck type of shit is this, y'all? Come on, man. We got to start looking in the mirror for real. What the fuck?
I know, but it's so
Stripping,
funny.
drive-through stripping during the COVID? Man, we see
But
that
you know
we ain't
what?
looking in the mirror. We ain't even looking in the
OnlyFans been
mirror.
around for about 4 or 5 years. It made a boom during COVID for that same reason. Oh, well, shoot, y'all can pay me to do this here. That was one of the big reasons it was like that, because strippers and, adult entertainment, you could just pay. But the OnlyFans had been around. But it blew up during COVID because it was easy. It was simple. Now somebody could just go ahead and hop on the stripping pole in their living room and get 1 million people to watch them and give them dollars and subscribe and all of this. And so it made a lane where it wasn't one to be degenerate.
No, she not being degenerate. She paying her way through college. Why every stripper is paying her way through college? That's every she's just doing what she got to do.
They made that okay. They made it like, oh, okay, you could do this and get out. Even though the end of that movie showed you that she was right back where she was and was just like, forget this fast lane. I'll continue to do it the way I was doing it to begin with. But you got some people that want to test those waters.
We make excuses for everything degenerate our people. Every degenerate
It's
thing.
another movie thing.
Yeah, they learned that from the movies. Yep, you're right.
It was another movie thing that just made it
counterculture,
okay.
producing counterculture, Hebrew culture, or Israelite, our culture from everywhere.
A tall head said every stripper been in college for 8 years and still didn't get a degree. Yeah, damn sister, how long is you gonna keep doing this? I'm sorry, that's funny to me. I'm sorry. But yeah. So a lot of these things that are affecting us, we draw into it and we feed it. We feed these things, and like I said, we got to have some kind of counterculture, some kind of measure to go against it. So I need you guys to chime in and give us some solutions. What can we do as a people? I know it's only 7 of us, and it's like 40, 50 million black people. But what could we start doing? What are some of the things we can start doing to up the reading proficiency in black males, to change the dynamic between the black male and female relationship in the household, to get some of this abusive behavior, language out of the household? What are some of the things we can do to make fathers be fathers and not run out on their responsibility? Anybody can chime in on that.
I'm going to tell you like this. One of the things I think we can do is start hosting more panels like this where we're actually bringing information, where we're challenging not only ourselves, but the people in the audience to do research and challenge us to make sure to fact check the things that we bring out, the things that we say. One thing I always say on my panel, and I'm fond of saying it, don't believe or accept anything I say. Check it. Research everything that I say. And if I'm wrong, point it out. Come on the panel and correct me. Because the one thing we can't be as wannabe pillars or leaders in the community, we can't be stuck in the mindset that we can't learn and grow. The minute the information becomes bigger than you, it's not about the people, it's about you. So I think that's one thing, and I know that's one thing that I'm doing. I got people on my panel who brings up new information about things every day that's helping us all grow as a community. I think that's one thing we all can do. I mean, it's small, but it's small steps that's going to get us there. We can't get it all done in one giant leap.
And I agree. Sorry.
Just being innovators. And I mean, we see that it's a problem. We see the different problems that we have, and we see, you know what I'm saying? Like, we see some of the things that can fix it, but we waiting on somebody to do it, instead of being innovators ourselves and creating a way and an avenue for it to happen and for that culture to be created and like incentivized and also pushed out there.
And I want to follow up with what my sister was saying, that too, that's being innovative. We need to create skills development and that alternative education. And it's through platforms like this that we build communities, and start and seeing, like the brethren said, it's not going to be tomorrow thing. We're like laying the foundation for 200, like for our grandchildren to benefit from it. So this is the start: skills development, education, and creating those communities.
And Joshua, it starts at home. We have to be able to develop ourselves to be an example for our children or the people around us. Because we don't want to go around. Let's say somebody is taking care of their grandparent. You don't want to just push your grandparent down the stairs while they're in the wheelchair. You want to treat them as in the position that they're in. You want to be gentle. You want to be considerate. And if you're trying to be an example for your child, you have to be in a place to learn how to communicate appropriately, show them how to get things done, show them the proper way of reading and processing things, instead of just letting them be to their own devices and running the street. And you could cater to what fits their personality and spirits, because as you said, there's a lot of divisions within our homes, that there isn't any structure. So if we apply that structure, it starts within the home, and then it can excel into our little person or the people around us, into the community, and it can have a domino effect.
All right, yeah, I'm liking what I'm hearing, man. But me personally, I think we should attack poverty, because I think a lot of these things are being engendered through poverty. I'm not saying it's the end all be all, it's going to fix everything, but if we can get poverty out of the way, a lot of this low class behavior will go away with it. Like I said, a lot of people, we should start attacking STEM. We should start hitting these HBCUs up, because HBCUs, historical black colleges, are very affordable, cheap. I'm talking like $4,000 a semester, cheap. You can get a bachelor's in like computer science or something like that, and increase your money and increase your cash flow that way. At least that would alleviate the impoverished part, because I think I believe Abdul said it's a difference between you rent something and you own something. If you own it, you care about it. You're not going to break it down. You're not going to destroy it. Once we start owning our own communities, we'll treat it better. You know what I'm saying? So that's from my point of view and my perspective, I think that's the starting point, is tackling poverty.
Agreed, brother.
But Tasha, do you think, like going off of, I'm always thinking business, right? So do you think that like, say you had a nonprofit organization like that would help people to go to college or go, because a lot of times when you have children who are in homes that don't have parents who, most parents, and this is like a fact, are illiterate. They haven't finished school, they haven't done this, that, and the other, and so therefore the person who is trying to do that really doesn't have much guidance. With social media being so big, it could be a better way to reach people, to try to put information out like that, and reach people who are actually trying to do that, who are
Right.
seeking that, because there's a lot of people who might want to do that, but because they don't know where to start, or they see an application and they don't know how to do it. It's just, this is too hard. I don't know. I'll just forget it. But when you
Right.
have a team of supporters behind you and people who are telling you can do it and willing to, motivate you, it might help a community at large.
Right. Like the brother, A Tall Heads, he says corrective promotion, a Twitter campaign, a whole bunch of Israelites together. Yeah, we need that stuff like that. We need to assault these social networking platforms, because that's where everyone attention is at right now. You know what I'm saying? People love trends, trending, hashtag. Let's hashtag, unity, black love, black families, black neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? Black excellence. That's what we need to be hashtagging and keep it going. Because it's not enough in our neighborhoods. We're not seeing this. I'm pretty sure all the people on this call right now, if we had grew up in a area where it was doctors, lawyers, scientists, people keeping the yards together, the property value, it's real looking nice, a nice community park, it's safe, we'd have probably been doing the same thing that those people were doing. But I hate to say it, but we are a product of our environment. But that don't mean we got to choose that. That's usually just the crutch that we like to fall back on. It's because I grew up in this type of thing and this, and that. That still don't make it okay. You know what I'm saying? We must strive for excellence. We got to strive to do better. I'm always telling people we need to move out to neighborhoods. They don't belong to us anyway. Get away from the liquor store where that's 2-3 minutes down the street. You know what I'm saying? Get away from that. Get away from all the poisons. We could scream about all the change we want to, but the change starts with you and how you make the change. If we disappeared out these neighborhoods, they'd start to questioning what's really going on. Oh my goodness. And then we're going to get a word. They're going to have to hear us, right? But we complaining in the same spot, not doing nothing and doing the same shit. You know what I'm saying? That they accusing us of, and we screaming, we won't change. I won't change. I won't change. What are you going to do to get that change?
And I think
I
that's what
agree.
the education, like the brethren saying with the HBCUs, even community college, but again, the skills development while they're getting educated, Pell Granting, take that Pell Grant, invest it in a little land, but learn and collaborate with people who have resources, learn agriculture, learn building, learn plumbing, learn this. We need to learn that skills development as well as the book knowledge. We need our scientists and we need our carpenters, right? Hand in hand. Teachers, all that.
I agree with everything you guys are saying, man. It's a tall task. It's daunting too, because it's like, damn, 50 million people.
And filmmakers. Don't forget them filmmakers. Don't forget them artists.
Yeah, we need all that. But the problem is these big studios, they control Hollywood, they control media. So it's like, damn, how do we circumvent that? How do we get around that? That's a huge force.
You can, if you do this, they will come. So
remember Nollywood.
We got
real
all those things. So the internet makes people have a even playing field against the big people now. You got artists who will go platinum on YouTube. Stuff like that. Nobody wasn't looking at them, and now they getting all these deals, So it's like you start a platform where you build these artists and you build all these people. It's the same as building a community. You know what I'm saying? And then it will come together where you have a lot of people with the same like mind and the same like agenda coming together to make things, and then people will start to go towards that.
And here we are.
But right now, when you have no representation, you don't have no representation, you won't have it.
But like the sister is saying, we do have a foundation. We're all coming together under our Hebrew Israelite different flags, whatever tribes we're coming from, with our colors, but we're under the foundation of the word, source up or shut up. Here's the word, here's who we are, and just building on that foundation. And like she said, if we continue, they will come. The ears that are supposed to come, even if it's one sheep, that we will come. And that's what the thing, we're building for the one sheep. This community, who we are as Israel, whether we're Muslim, some of us are Rastafari, some of us are Hebrew Israel, camps, whatever, we coming under one foundation. We got our colors, but we got the Most High as our foundation. And it's an exclusive group. We are exclusive. We ain't here for the world. We're here for the Most High. We're here for who Yeshua HaMashiach said. You know what I'm saying? We're here for Israel. Plain and simple. So the Most High will bring it. This is our power.
Yeah, yeah. You know what grinds my gears is that we have a bunch of able, and I heard what you saying, Denise. Back on, we need to make a program or something like that, a nonprofit, to get these grown people ready and disciplined to go to school. But you know that annoys me and irritates me that we would have to go to those type of lengths to get able body. We're not talking about someone with mental or what's the word I'm looking for? Any physical disabilities or any mental disability. We're talking about able bodied grown adults to get them to do better for themselves. And I think that's holding us back. That we have to go out of our way to try to make people see that they have to do better for themselves. Um,
But it's a harsh reality. You know, I used to work with this store, and I saw people every day come in, get their little 50-cent beers, their little $2 cigarettes, go out, bum some stuff, try to fix somebody's car for a couple of dollars, try to do all this, to do the same thing every day, the sedentary lifestyle. And you have people who get set in their ways. And I feel like really you should make programs to reach the youth, but I don't think it should be void of the adults, because those are the people that are also influencing the youth, and they're making babies and they're doing everything else, and they're misguided as well. And even though you feel like we shouldn't have to, a lot of our adult community is very immature. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to handle themselves. They don't know how to handle relationships, and then they're raising children. So I think that we have to make it for both the young adults and the older adults as well. Like you just have to include that.
no, I agree with you, but it's irritating because these same adults know how to do everything else. They don't have to be told how to um keep it PG-13. They don't know how to be, they don't have to be told how to find that stripper drive through that you was talking about. They can find out all the details on that. They don't have to be told how to set up a OnlyFans account and start following people on OnlyFans. They don't have to be told these things. They learn how to do it. They don't have to be told and instructed on how to buy drugs, purchase drugs, what a gram is. They gonna learn these things on their own. But you mean to tell me that I have to babysit someone to tell them to go to school and better their lives?
Yeah, because that stuff isn't easy. It's not easy. Everything else is easy. So yeah, if it's easy to do, people don't do it. But things that are not easy, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's why people say that marriages fall apart now, because people just so be ready to say forget it and quit. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy. When things are not easy in this popcorn generation, they're not gonna do it.
What about
Everything
microwaving?
has been made easy.
Is
Everything's made easy for us right now. Even school, you can just sign up and go online. You ain't gotta leave your house. Everything is easy. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, people don't like, they don't want to go through the steps. They don't want to go through stuff. But I think that if somebody has somebody behind them, rooting them on, they can do that. And when you don't have a parent that's doing that, but you got people that's rooting you to go to the streets and go be with hoes and go do all that, that's what you're gonna go do.
so they can set up whole drug operations, you understand? Commit murder, clean up the body and everything. Do all this other stuff, sophisticated stuff to do that. But they can't clean themselves up and go to school, get a trade.
But they don't have
Come on.
nobody telling them to do that. Somebody start making money. That's just like, you ever watch Power and the
Uh,
dude Ghost.
Yeah, I
He
watch Power.
in the
Bring it
beginning
out.
of Power, he was on some, hey look, I just started these clubs, I did all this, I'm ready to drop the drug game and just go get with these businesses. And his wife was like, what? I didn't get with you for this. No, where is the money gonna be at? Where is this? Where is that? Oh no, we need this fast stuff. How we gonna make it? I'm used to this lifestyle. No, buddy, I didn't get with you for you to go get. I got with you to be with the biggest drug man in here. And that, you understand? And this is what he had backing him. But then when he started cheating on her with the other woman, who was a district DA or whatever, and she was all like,
ANC
yeah,
Angela Valdez.
Yeah.
yeah, Angela, and I didn't like Angela, but either way it goes, but she still was more so in him just going legit being the businessman that you see, being somebody that's successful, and that's somebody you want to be proud of, right? Regardless of his horrible past. Okay. She was more pushing him that way. But he had more people on his side that was towards him being a drug dealer than him being legit.
Right.
And so
And you know,
he
and
went
just
more so the other way.
Let me use
It
the
was all
Dominican.
type of stuff wrong with that
can
show,
I,
though, to be honest,
It
because they
was,
showed
but I'm just
that
saying,
boy
but that's a
kill his
lot of what you
father,
get. That's a lot what you get
and that's what's
in
happening. You see
people's
how they just
past.
showed these brothers. You see how they showed these young kids on the big old TV show. It was cool to murder your dad if he was, going against your mom and ruining your mom's plans and stuff. And
Yeah,
just
but
like you
the
said,
point
he was
was that
finna
I was
make a big
making
move for the whole
that
family.
yeah, he was.
and
But she didn't
can I
go with that. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like going back to what the brother's saying, like, do I have to convince grown folks to do what's right? You sound like Moses. You feel me? Because them same troublemaking mixed multitude came up into the desert, and that's why our patriarchs had to go 40 years until the Most High got that mess out. You feel me? Even Moses lost his job because not lost, he was resigned
Right.
early because he got tired. Like, I am done. I am done with these hard-headed Moses. I am done. That's the story in itself. So forget all this power. The real power is Elohim power. And even making stories that are relevant to this time because we continue the stories. That is our family. They giving us some false stories that they want us to ruminate, talk about, debate again. This is fictional. Let's get into the real one because that same drama happened in the desert, and Achan and his family got swallowed up by the earth. So much so that we know the stories because some of their family got spit out to write the songs. You feel me? So let's go on the real book. Let's do the real thing. Let's get up out of Babylon. Let's get out of this confusion. Let's just have faith and just get with ones and understand that we all come in broken and we're trying to get better. We may not make it, but let's make sure that our grandchildren and our children's children make it. You feel me?
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
I
Yes, ma'am.
couldn't have been
That's what
Moses.
I'm trying to do it for. I don't think it's.
I
Yeah,
would
I
have
don't
snapped
think
the
we gonna
first week.
get we won't change. You snapped it for a week, but if we set it up like they set it up, you see, they set it up for long term. We think short term. They set it up for 100, 200 years. They do that, you know what I'm saying? And we, like I said earlier, we only planning for this Friday. We planning to go out this Friday while they planning for what they great grandsons gonna do, because they building legacies and empires while we shaking our butts at the club and we getting drunk pretending to be thugs and stuff. We, like I said, we got to look in the mirror. We got to look in the mirror and we got to start fixing these problems because these are generational curses. Like we said, if both parents were on drugs or alcohol, it's a 90% probability, 99% chance that the child would be on that stuff. If the child seen the parents fighting every day, like you said, raising their voice and yelling and stuff, that's what the baby's gonna do. You know what I'm saying? You said it. I seen one of those videos too, where they gave the little baby some baby dolls and just let the camera go on it, and the baby started screaming at the baby doll and slapped the baby doll, picked it up, hugged the baby doll, kissed the baby doll, and then started feeding the baby doll, slapped the baby doll again, shut up, crying. And we don't even know that the kids are straight up watching every move. They're watching everything we do. So, especially when we got children, we got to put our best foot forward every time because they looking, even when you don't think they looking.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
and
That's true. But
pardon
but
me
but
if I got my biblical trilogy confused. So 49ers, please correct my scriptural history because I think I got the names wrong, but give thanks for this reasoning.
no, you were on point. But I said I couldn't be Moses because within the first week, I would have snapped on all them niggas. But
He did though. He dropped the tablets. He was pissed.
Why? Because them niggas got out in the desert and got to carving up sculptures and little gods again, huh? Same stuff we
Asking
got
for
in trouble
watermelon,
for.
just like niggas asking for watermelon.
knowing they don't even like watermelon.
Mm,
Yeah, but when you had these adults, man, these adults normally, like in the back chat, they complaining. They saying, "What can we do? What can the black community do? What can I do?" And when you tell them exactly what they can do, Denise, what happens? It's just more complaining. So at that point, it's like, okay, now you just want me to be frustrated with you, or you just want somebody to complain to, because you don't want to fix the problem. You don't want to put forth the effort to actually change the situation. Then what are we talking about it for? No, for real, like that. I'm like, come on. Like, what are we doing at this point? If you're saying, "Oh, I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this, nigga." Okay, then do this. And then you don't do it, and then the next day you complain about the same thing you was complaining about yesterday. Why am I going to take you serious anymore?
Stop
Are we
complaining and
treating the
change what
adults
you're
like? Are we supposed to treat these adults like children now?
No. Well, they are. No. I was gonna
That's
say
what
they're
I'm
kind of like
saying.
children, but I mean, no. But you can set an example. I mean, I understand what they're saying, but
some people got there's not enough emotional maturity, and there's also generational trauma and curses that we continue with. So we can go back 2 grandfathers ago, and that individual could have been very harsh and stern. And I'm just giving an example. I'm not talking about life experience or anything. But if that person taught that to that man and he passed that on to his family, and then they have a way, and then it just continues. So let's say somebody in our age bracket was like, my father drank every day and he beat me. But come to find out that that man, his father drank every day and he got beat. So he just passed it on. So people get stuck in a habitual level of bad behavior. So that's a thing that we have to break, is the generational trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we break that generational trauma? I see what you're saying. How do
Counseling,
we,
therapy.
James? But we giving them the
Yeah,
counseling,
and it's on the. It's a,
therapy. I guess you talking about
but
professionally.
it's individual. They gotta
Thank you.
want to break it. Sometimes people don't
Right.
think.
I agree.
Sometimes people don't think that what their father or mother was doing was wrong. Some people are actually broken. They don't think, "Oh, it was okay. My daddy
Facts.
beat me with stitching cords and
But
stuff
that's
and
what
left
therapy
marks on
does.
me and scarred me. It's okay." But therapy addresses that. You're right. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. And that's,
yeah, they have
it
to
starts
revisit
with
things
self.
as
If we fix
an adult.
ourselves, then we can reach out and start fixing each other as a whole, as a community, like it's
Facts.
supposed to be.
Yep.
But how, if, like I said, if you ain't loving yourself, how you expecting to love? If you ain't fixed yourself, how you expecting to fix somebody else? That's
Right.
backwards. It don't work that way.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say something to a tall head. You put on here, we keep talking about family teaching these things. A lot of times it might not be the family, but the community. A ripe apple will quickly spoil when around other spoiled apples. There's a lot of credence to what he said. But and maybe this is, anecdotal. If someone want to call me on it, that's fine. Let me use my family for instance. Because the men, let me start with my grandfather. Old school hustler, hard worker, grinder on gambling shacks, all that, right? But he taught his sons the value of hard work. You know what I'm saying? He was a Rolling Stone too, which, we picked up some of that too. But he taught him the value of hard work. So like when I look at my father's generation, you know what I'm saying? These real high supervisors in post office, real estate entrepreneurs, curators at museums, like my aunt, high working and all this came from, them being installed with values in the home, not in the street. Your first teachings are learned, put it like this: the person you'll be, you pretty much pick up by the time you're 3. The streets ain't teaching you shit at 3. Mama and daddy is who you're looking at, mimicking and learning from at 3. That's why they say if you haven't civilized your child by the time he's 3, he's likely to be a monster. Because you got to get them at the ground roots when they're learning and absorbing all that stuff. And that happens in the household. You ain't letting, if you letting your kids run the streets between 3 and 5, then you got far more issues than what we talking about right now.
So James, let's say all of that happened. He's an adult now. He comes to you, that male or that female child, he or she comes to you and wants to change and wants to get their life right, want to figure their life out.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do first? How do you address that?
I would tell them, like I've been saying to y'all, I would tell them, hey, brother, the first thing you need to do is go into therapy, because what therapy is going to do is it's going to go back, have you relive a lot of these experiences and find where the hell you went wrong at and how to correct it.
I agree, but we gotta be on a practical level. A lot of Black Americans don't have insurance or don't have the means or the funds to even get the therapy.
If you got Medicaid, you can get therapy. So I'm not hearing that.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people don't qualify, so we can't be
most of the Black community
so general. We can't be general about that.
No,
most of the Black communities, if you're on welfare, you're on Medicaid.
Yeah, but most Black men can't, even though they can get food stamps, they can't get medical.
Well, I'm more concerned with kids than grown ass people. Grown ass people ain't likely to change.
But,
Kids, of course, can get it, but their parents ain't about to admit. Most of the kids' issues is their parents don't want to admit that they got issues.
You know,
because
one of
they
the
don't want to
this
admit
is
that
kind
they
of
raised
fucked
a
up.
child that may have issues.
It's kind of messed up, but you know, there's a major push of kids' medical information being kept to their kid now. So whether their parents authorize it or not, sometimes it can be easily circumvented. Unfortunately, it's become like that.
Yeah, I know you said adults can't change, but I believe they can change, but they got to have the will to.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I don't mean
agree.
they don't. I'm saying typically like an old dog don't learn new tricks. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those type scenarios. Like you got habits that you have to detangle from your life. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of stuff we do off habit, not because we thinking about it, not because we processing, oh, I should do this or do that. Like how you come in the house and do the same damn thing every day when you walk through the door. That's habit. That's not you thinking that through. So a lot of stuff is habits that have to be untangled from our lives. And once we get those bad habits out the way, we got to replace them with good habits. This is, you know, but even if I couldn't, like, say therapy wasn't an option, I would really point them towards personal development books.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
They could put a habit to better themselves. I definitely agree with that.
I would like one that I partially read. I didn't finish it. 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. He's a clinical psychologist, been one for years. That's where I got the example about cleaning your room from. Like when I said it earlier, like when people lives are disarray, these type of therapists, what they'll do is they'll come in and tell you, you know what, don't worry about straightening up everything in the world because everything ain't in your control. If the only thing you can do is make up your bed every day for a month. Then after you do that, all right, now straighten up the stuff around your room for a month. Now your living room, add that to the list. Now add your kitchen to the list, your bathroom to the list. Now you're ready to go out and take on the world because you've gotten your house in order, which is scriptural. Get your house in order. So once you do that, now you can go out and tell people what they're doing wrong because you have that example. See what I'm saying? But those types of self-help books would be tremendous for our community because once you read something and process it in your mind, you can't just forget it. And it starts to irk at you when you know better and you don't do better.
But they ain't got the reading proficiency down yet.
You can't win for losing.
What
I
you
think a parenting class would help, even if you don't have children. Yeah, a parenting class would help.
I agree.
Because a parenting class teaches you how to respect yourself and others more than anything. It doesn't teach you how to really parent. It teaches you how to be a productive member of society. And then
Which is
that
a
in
big part
turn
of it.
helps you to become a parent, a great parent.
Exactly.
Hey, James. So how do you? Because this is always brought up when we say people should go to trade school or go to college. How do you give, or how do you teach someone to be disciplined? Because I've been thinking about how do you teach someone to have discipline to sit in a class or read something, get an assignment. You know what I'm saying? Be task orientated, pretty much. How do
Like
you
you were saying
instruct
earlier,
someone?
it got to be important. It got to be as an adult. It has to be extremely important to them. Anything they view as important, they'll take as much time as they need to learn it. It has to be worth it to them. So it really comes down to a personal decision within themselves to really truly want to do better. Uh, Even for myself, like it came a time where I was just fed up with the bullshit in my life. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm gonna put all this shit in order right now. And life got better. From the moment I started putting stuff in order, everything started falling into place. So it comes with that real decision. Because whether a person respects a higher power or not, you know, the Most High is truly my God, but whether a person respects a higher power or not, the quote unquote universe seems to work for those who work for it. So you gotta want that, man. Other than that, I say shit, send them to military boot camp for a year.
You have
They'll
to
get some discipline.
put structure. Like
Man,
structure
I
provides
thought telling these
discipline.
niggas, hey, if you get this degree in this field, you gonna get a 6-figure job. I thought that'd be enough motivation to be like, yeah, man, let me go ahead and you know what I'm saying?
But they
People
don't
don't
have
want to
no
work for people
structure.
though.
That's, that's the whole reason that you got jail, military, all that. It provides structure in somebody's life. Once somebody
Mhm.
can structure their life and structure their thoughts, then they can go forward and do things that are worthwhile. If they just wild, somebody trying to provide a school where you need structure in your life, they're not going to do well.
But I would say a lot of this is emotional trauma as well. Like you got to
Emotional.
remember, yeah, when you growing up in school, like I'm an example of it. I talk the way I read. You know what I'm saying? So since I had an older sister that was damn near domineering and teaching me everything she learned in school. You know what I'm saying? When I go in class and I'm reading, you know, in the first grade on a fifth grade level, you know, people make fun of you for that shit. You know what I'm saying? You saying words they ain't never heard of before. People make fun of you for that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it creates emotional trauma in you where it's like, I don't want to read. I don't want to learn to speak properly or nothing like that because people gonna say I talk like a white boy.
Oh, they should take us out of classes for that.
That's true, brother.
Like they
That's
would
true.
separate you for if you were above, like average. They would try to separate you during those times. I guess for that reason,
Yeah, like I went
because
to
that
a
does
school
that does have adverse effect.
in the middle school. We moved out to the country for like 3 years. So I was going to a school where the whole country area I was in, it was white. It was, I mean, not white, damn, black folks. But the school we went to was 45 minutes away, the next town over, that was majority white. So at that point, I started ending up in classes with nothing but white folks. It'd be like me and this other black dude named James Robinson. Me and him was in all classes together because we was like the only two black people in our grade levels that scored high on our state tests and stuff enough to get into these classes. But then it wasn't as much of an issue except feeling like, well, damn, we the only black motherfuckers in here. And they sit us on complete opposite sides of the room because they know they put us together. We gonna act a motherfucking fool in there.
Oh man. Hey, so what I've got from that, what your answers are, the military thing. So in order for them to get disciplined so they can sit their ass down in the class and retain the information, they gotta go and fight in Iran somewhere. Come
No,
on,
no,
man.
I
It's
just
gotta
mean
be
that type
another.
of structure. I mean that type of structure.
Okay.
That's why I said a military boot camp, not the military itself.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Gotcha,
agree.
gotcha.
I think we need that. I think we need to put our young brothers, if they getting in trouble, if they done went to juvenile hall 2 or 3 times and they've been stealing, and I think they need to hit a boot camp. You know what I'm saying? We need to give them some type of structure, because if he has all the time to lie, steal, play video games, that means he has all the time in the world. A little bit of boot camp and some structure and a little bit of pain ain't gonna hurt him. It's gonna do him some good in the real world when the real world start getting on him.
Yeah, hey,
So
you'd be
speaking of boot
surprised.
camp, oh my bad, Abdul. Now, but speaking of boot camp, something that I do with my daughter when she get out of line, because I don't put my hands on her, I show her videos of how hard boot camp is and how those drill leaders be yelling at them kids. And I try to get into her head like, yo, you trying to act up here at the house, but look at what they're going through for their behavior. No matter the circumstances, they there for the reasons they not supposed to be there, but they there. And I'm like, I don't want that happening for you. But if you act in some type of way, that's an option out there. So it's a way to hone in on that. They do have a structure and they do have a regimen, and it's something to be presented though.
And I
Yo,
say,
It also gives pride where pride isn't there either.
I
yo,
say,
this
So
Only
is
my
a
show the
nephew
great
best stuff.
discussion.
excelled out of school and excelled in boot camp and then got his degree in Air Force. So it
I
does
say that
help
this is
build
where the
build people.
father is so important. And this ain't me trying to be biased or nothing like that. It's just me being straight up. At my mama house, I acted one way. At my daddy house, I ain't act like that at all. You understand? At my daddy house spotless clean. You know what I'm saying? I'm out cutting the grass anytime the grass high. I'm doing all that because, and it wasn't like my daddy just demanded it of me, but you know what I'm saying? It's just shit. You're a young man. You want things. You got to go out there and earn them. You know what I'm saying? So you want me to go buy you these new shoes? Hey, shit, you got to go cut some grass. Keep my house clean. Do this, do that. You know what I'm saying? And fathers teach men what it is to earn shit. Women are likely to give it to them.
Mm,
And you know what? That's key that you said that, and I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because that's where we have to learn to balance discipline with teaching and anger with, I want to word this correctly, and anger with discipline also. Because sometimes we misplace our anger when we're disciplining our children.
Correct. That's one thing I like about my dad too. He never whooped me when he was mad.
And that was
Right.
something I was talking about the other day. I wanted to have a discussion with on my panel the other day, but I didn't get too many people to join me. The topic of the discussion was, is corporal punishment still a good way to discipline our children in 2020?
I would say yes to an extent.
Yeah,
I
me
don't.
too.
Especially when
Yeah.
they're young, they're gonna react to the pain as a correction more than they would to your words. As they get older, you can talk more.
I
Yes.
would like to have that
Yeah.
discussion on another time. I'm a bit tired, bro. I've been having a lot going on today. Somebody was trying to prove something with my DNA test that it didn't show. You know, I had to source up with my DNA test to show them. It didn't say what they said. All right. So I'll talk to y'all later. I appreciate y'all shooting for letting me come on your panel. I enjoyed the discussion. It was productive. I'm gonna take some of what I learned today and I'm gonna pass it on. Hold death.
All right, shalom. I appreciate you coming on.
all right, peace, brother, peace.
Shalom.
Later.
Yeah, I think discipline is still very important, because if you're gonna send your kids out to be disciplined by the world, you got to teach them what right and wrong is. You got to teach them about respect. And as the brother stated, it's true. The mothers spoil these children, just giving them stuff. Mommy, I want this. Mommy, I want that. But he was just bad. He got bad grades in school. Whereas the father is gonna be like, nah, didn't we just look at your report card? I've seen them F's on there. This ain't F. F behavior don't get you what you want. And that's how my father did. And just like you said, he said, go out there and mow the front yard. If I wanted something, he said, go mow the front yard and stuff, and making sure, because it was rules. Like there's rules. There's rules for grown people that walk into your house. You and your spouse have rules, and then there are rules for the kids. Together, we all make the unit. So the children's rules is to listen to the parents, follow directions. You know what I'm saying? And that means when you come home, take off your school clothes, do your homework, and you can be good until the street lights come on. And that's how I got my allowance. And when I seen the grass needed to be cut, I go out there and cut the grass thinking Pop's gonna just shoot me 5, he'll shoot me 20. You know what I'm saying? Because I just took it upon myself. I started growing and seeing to where he didn't have to tell me to do anymore. And that's called growth. He could see the growth in me, and we got to reward the good behaviors. We just can't punish the bad behaviors, man. I'm being real. We just can't get on them when they do bad. We got to do both. When they're doing good, we must reward them and push that good behavior, instill good things in them. And when they're out of line, what I'm saying, because that's all they are, is they're just out of line, we must check them. Ain't nothing wrong with a check. Sometimes we can't talk to them and we might have to spank a butt. But I come from that era where you could have got hit with anything: extension cord, the phone cord, a leather belt, a spatula, a shoe. That's abuse. You don't do that. I'm not trying to. I don't do that. I'm trying to get attention, because that's what the goal is, to get their attention. When they're throwing that fit and just screaming and yelling in a rage because you took something from them, you got to pop a thigh and look them in their eyes. So you got their attention. They're looking up at you. They got at a loss for breath, but you understand what I'm saying? Now I got your attention. It's not about abuse. It's about getting their attention. Right. And we got to teach them. We just can't whoop them and say, that's it. You got to let them know what you spanked them or what you checked them for. Because they're going to grow up thinking daddy was mean. He was always checking us and being mean for nothing, because you didn't correct them. You just spanked them. That's not correction. That's just a spanking. Correction is you got to spank it because you did this, and that. And what are the rules? And when they tell you it back, now they know the rules. They're willingly disobeying you. Now you got to adjust your parenting skills, because you got one that's willingly disobeying. How are we going to get him in check? That's all the brother's saying.
I think it's worse damage by the words that's being said. If you calling your kid a mother effer, if you addressing your children that way, like, I think that's worse than just whooping them.
I don't know. Little nigga and little motherfucker wasn't bad. When he said, I'm disappointed in you, I felt something. I was like, damn, daddy ain't never been disappointed. He's disappointed. He didn't whoop me. I knew I was going to get an ass whooping real bad. He said, I'm disappointed in you, and left.
Hey, I've had.
You know what that did to my mind? You know what I'm saying? That was a mental game he played on me, and it worked, because he could have easily just started beating me, But that made me start thinking. I didn't want to disappoint my father. I don't want to disappoint my parents,
Yeah, that hurt more than a whooping.
It did.
I had my daddy not. I'm a daddy's boy. I grew up in my mama's house, but I'm a daddy's boy. You know what I'm saying? My daddy made it his prerogative to be there for me and my older sister Keisha. So one time, now I'm gonna tell this story. Y'all gonna laugh at me, but it's a true story. No bullshit. I call my mama right now. She'll tell you. So my daddy was in the Vietnam War. He had a Vietnam War buddy that was the principal of my elementary school, right? So he come up there, talk with him and whatnot. So don't ask me why this happened, but this guy bet me like $5 I wouldn't climb up in the roof, right? So I climb up in the roof in the bathroom. I stand up. I think I'm good. I take one step, fall through the whole damn roof. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So me, I run out the building. Like, I don't play like I just got to school and act like nothing just happened. Right. So I run around the building. I'm coming back through the front of the building. They see me coming in. You know what I'm saying? They come walking up on me. So I'm like, shit. But they don't know nothing. So they come up to me like, did something happen today? I'm like, nah, I don't know what you're talking about. I just got to school. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah, I just got to school. They're like, what's all that white shit in your hair? They ain't say it like that, but what's all that white stuff in your hair? I'm like, oh, damn, I'm caught at this point. So they called my mama up there. My mama whipped me right there in the restroom, right under where I fell through the roof.
Mm.
But then when I go to my daddy's house, like my daddy, one thing about him was don't embarrass me. Like he was big on that. Like I got away with murder. Like I ain't gonna lie, I was a mischievous child. And I probably got a whooping like 5 times from my daddy in my life, and I deserved at least 100. But he ain't whooped me, nothing. He wouldn't even look at me. We stood outside looking out his window in his room in the backyard, and just pretty much told me how disappointed he was in me, and that this was gonna be the last time I came over his house for a while. And that shit probably lasted like 3-4 months, bro. Man, I was heartbroken, bro. Devastated, bro. And shit, I ain't never do nothing to purposely disappoint my daddy or my daddy ever again. I thought about anything involving something with my daddy. Now, my mama throwing that hissy fit, doing that, she did that all the time. It didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? But my daddy was never like that. So for him to do that, I knew he was like really disappointed at me, or he didn't want to whoop me because he figured he might kill my ass. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those. But either way, I ain't like that feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I agree. I was a daddy's boy too, brother. My daddy would have said, slap one. If he said hit anybody or whatever, I did it. It wasn't a question of when. It was, did you see him do it? Because he was the man, and like I said, it was one rule in the house, his rules. But he also said, don't be afraid of me. You better be afraid of God. You better get you a relationship with God. You know what I'm saying? And that was one of the biggest things he could have said to me, because I got that relationship with the Father right now, and a whole bunch of brothers don't. They've never had that relationship. Those words that we give the youth, we got to give them these good words, man. And those, like the good words my dad gave me when I got in trouble sitting in juvenile hall, he had got on drugs and all the stuff. And I wasn't respecting him. I lost some respect from him. I don't know why. Just, culture at the time. When I'm sitting in juvenile hall and he couldn't come get me. He couldn't come get me. Oh, man, all the stuff he said started flying through my head. It was in the right ear, and it was like running through my head. Then out to the left, I was like, oh, my God, he was right. And then all the times he was like, nigga, I've been 15. You ain't been 55. That stuff started making sense. You know what I'm saying? And I really started to get my stuff together. And I really appreciated him because he gave me them words. He wouldn't let me. I had, we all got our friends. We was trying to gangbang, run, stealing. He would show up and slap you upside the head, in the back of the head, or grab you by your collar, drag you by your feet, you know what I'm saying, into the car, and your friends is laughing at you. But as we grew older, later on down the line, they was like, man, I wish I had that. I wish I had a dad that did that. I wouldn't have been in the gang or none of this stuff. So that's why it's important. Fathers are allowed to be fathers to their children. They don't, the parents don't got to be together. That's a misconception. But as long as they're both doing their job and raising the children, that's cool. The fathers need to be in the child's life, not just as a what they call a child support check. And none of that stuff, you know what I'm saying? He needs to be a part. He needs to be able to connect with his child, because who better to get advice from than your parents? When you go on, look, my pops passed away about 7 years ago, but when I got older, I would call him, Daddy, I'm going through this, I'm going through that. Daddy, what you think about this? Daddy, what you think about that? And he would give me his word, and he would tell me, you already know what to do, basically. And I really did. I just needed somebody to confirm, I was looking for, my elder. And now that's me, you know what I'm saying? So when my little young homies hit me up, And friends, I try to give them those kind words. I'm not judging or telling them what to do. I tell them the same thing about, you already know what to do. Tell me what you know what to do. And we usually talk for, 15 minutes, couple hours, and then, everything's cool. And that's just my job, is to give those kind words. You got to lead by example.
Mhm.
And if I can add, we still need a counterculture for against the militarism, because there are brothers looking for ones like yourself to teach them and guide them, and they think the only way they can learn discipline and skills development and be important in their community is to go through the military. And that's a vacuum. There's a vacuum that needs to be filled. There's something like that, brothers like yourself and other elders
True.
and young ones, to start building the counterculture, because again, that military is the only option for them, you know, and they can get caught up in some bogusness, some politicalness. And again, it's whenever, if we look at historically, whenever we as Black people start waking up, whether it's Vietnam, whether it's Iraq, whether it's this war that we're going through, every time we're starting to build up, there's they cause some other problems with our other Israelite brothers across the way. So then we're causing all kind of genocide or fratricide all over the
Mm-hmm.
place. So we really have to create that counterculture. And the way, I had to talk my son-in-law out of going in the military. Like, no, we need you here on the ground. We need an army of the Most High, Yahweh. Don't worry. The brothers will come around. They'll teach you how to be a man. Don't worry. We're here. We're here. So there are brothers out there who are like young ones who got the energy, want to do the right thing. So this platform, the source, bring them brothers. Be part of that. Be that counterculture. Build it and grow. We need you. We need the fathers and the brothers in this community.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely hear that, but I will add this to that. Um, every nation we've ever been captive to or been a part of, the way we end up rising and overcoming and overthrowing that nation has always been through its military. Whether we usurped it through military means, or well, I'm not saying every time, but most of the time where we did it through military. But I think that in this situation, to the sister's point, it is a bit different. You know what I'm saying? It's not like being in the military now is the only means of upward mobility. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Economics is a big thing. We're free enough to an extent where we can make money and invest in ourselves to build generational wealth. And that should be the primary focus of Black men and women. But I'm put more of the onus on men because I believe it's their duty to guide their nation. So that should be the main focus of men. But we will need those military skills to help better organize, because that's one thing like that happened after Vietnam, like with Black Panthers and all that. A lot of those people came out the military with nothing else to do, so they end up bringing those organizational skills into the community and
Mm-hmm.
building things like the Black Panthers and stuff. I just don't think that that's per se necessary now, because there's other means of getting that organization and stuff. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, yeah. It's like the sister was in my head, because that was me. You was really talking about me when you were speaking, when I was 18. I didn't see no way out. 9/11 happened. My name is Muslim. I was born with this name. So I wouldn't get no calls back, no applications or nothing. So I was, in the streets getting money like I knew. And my cousin, he was like, I'm going to take you to the recruiter, because my whole family, we had been in the armies. We've been serving this country forever. And when we get home, we got treated like crap. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to go in for about this 4 years. I'm going to get my little GI Bill, buy me a house, find me a woman, get married. I took the ASVAB test. I scored like a 97, 98. And a week later, I got busted for some marijuana. The Most High was like, yeah, I'm not sending you over there to do none of that. But I still think we do need that boot camp or some type of structure for the young ones, because we got natural born soldiers. We got leaders. soldiers, you know, we got natural born doctors, scientists, and all that stuff. And we need to push them in that field, you know. Like when I was young, I was a nerd, you know, and all the broken appliances, the wife says I'm still a nerd, but all the broken appliances and everything, I would fix them up, you know what I'm saying? I'd open them up, fix little stuff and everything, but that wasn't cool in the hood. You know what I'm saying? They was, you know, wanting to play sports because that's all they had been shown and known. That's the only way we gonna get it out, only way we gonna get out the hood. And I didn't want to entertain them. You know, that's all entertainment, you know. And so much so they told LeBron to shut up and dribble. So that shows you how much they respect your entertainment. They just want you to make them laugh and all that stuff. And you know, that's not where we need to be pushing our people. You know, we don't need to be pushing our children into that right there so they could raise our children. You know, we got to raise our children up in the way they should go. Before desegregation, it was us, our sisters and mothers and aunties and grandmothers with the school teachers. The fathers were actually teaching the boys trades. You know what I'm saying? They grew up in the trade that father and great granddaddy and great great granddaddy was in. So there was no need for them to go out and go to school and spend money when I already know how to make money in the family business. You know, we don't even have that. I'm in the cannabis business in California, but I can't own, no black people can own a 20,000 square foot facility because they said you got to own a farmland or a farm and had been farming something for the past 30 years. So they cut us out of the whole
Damn.
industry, the $1 trillion industry. They cut us out like that. So we got to start making our own avenues. You know, we need, just like you said, we need our black schools, you know what I'm saying, with black teachers.
Yeah,
Because
Chris
just like
Webber
y'all,
actually building a fund for that, brother, because
hmm
of the fact that they cut black people out of the marijuana industry, and we've been making money and getting locked up in this industry for so long, but now they found a way for them to make money off of it. They
right.
completely locked us out of it. So I think they trying to put together, I think it's like $500 million just to educate us and help us get, you know, the licenses and stuff like that we need, because a lot of it, what they do is they put up these I hate to use the term, but put up, you know, red tape, or quote unquote red tape,
Right.
that where we really just don't know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? They put in and they teach them their own folks how to do it, how to get in there, and then they don't teach us, and we stuck out. So Chris Webber
hmm
going to put together an organization to teach us how to get in on this stuff so we don't be left out in the cold. And I think that's a great example of what needs to be done in all fields of study where we can get in there and make us some money like that. We need black folks that like, no, we putting together a fund to teach our people how to do shit. To the LeBron point though, I know it wasn't a major point. Man, he did need to shut the fuck up and dribble, bro. Because the points he make aren't based on, in my opinion, I have to say it, on how he really feels. Because when it came to China, he shut the fuck up and dribbled. When the Daryl Morey, which was the GM for the Houston Rockets, he spoke out against China's treatment in Hong Kong, right? How they was persecuting people in Hong Kong and all that. China pulled money out the NBA. And guess what all the players did? They shut the fuck up and dribbled. So when you're picking and choosing like that, I take issue with it, because it seems like whatever, because he's a staunch Democrat. So whatever the Democrats pushing, he with it, he forward, he pushing it. Whatever's gonna make him money, he with it, forward, he pushing it. Now, I'm not saying his heart ain't in it. I'm saying he ain't put his mind in it to really grasp and understand the situation. It ain't like when Ali was standing up for him being drafted into a war that ain't have shit to do with him. He was put into that. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
LeBron put himself into it. And I'm not against entertainers and stuff being in politics. I'm against them using a platform and being uninformed about the policies they're actually pushing. They just pushing it because it sound good to them. That's where my dislike, I guess, with sports and politics comes in.
Mm-hmm.
You know they
What?
getting paid to have those views too, though.
Exactly. That's my
Right.
point.
I was, I was gonna say that because I don't personally take any advice from no entertainer. If
I'm
he
with
give
you
him
there.
some advice about basketball, football, making these moves, the jukes, fighting, or something like that, yeah, I could take you seriously. That's your field of expertise. But when it comes to this right there, no, but. You're right. He should have been more informed, and then the fact that he did be quiet because his check got cut. You know what I'm saying? These
Mhm.
brothers we got to remember who pays him. It's not a black name on that check. You feel what I'm saying? It's a white name, probably Bernstein or something like that.
Unless you
That's
play for
writing
the
these
Hornets.
checks.
Okay,
Unless
Bill.
you play for the Hornets.
Yeah, because Michael
But
Jordan
that's
writes checks.
okay.
Michael Jordan. All right, man. We getting ready to wrap it up. I also want to point out that y'all got a lot of solutions for children. What about these grown people, man?
Because the kids are what matter, man. They the future, bro.
That's the future. Yeah, that's the future. You chose your way. If we try now, this is the funny thing. When it comes to grown ass folks, they better be putting their best foot forward. I'm not reaching out to help nobody that don't want to be helped. I ain't
Thank you.
lifting you up when you just want to lay on your ass and drag your feet. I could hold my daughter's hands and my son's hands and these children who want to make it, who is looking for a way out, versus a grown person who is stuck and set in his ways.
Yeah, because a lot of these grown folks,
Exodus.
what they really doing is
Exodus.
looking for someone to just save their ass. They're not
Right.
looking to learn nothing. They're not looking to really change it. They'll be down for a little while. But like I say, when shit get tough, everybody reverts back to their normal old habits. That's why people jump on the train and be a bandwagon rider, then fall right on off. We done seen it even in the truth. People get in the truth. They seem zealous. They really for it. Shit got too hard. They fell right back into their old ways, doing the stuff they was doing right before they was in the truth.
And
You know one thing.
going back to Exodus, it was what, 20 and under that got into the promised land, because John was
Exactly.
like, no, we're gonna go around this for 40 years until you guys just die out, and in the 40 years we teach it and growing, and then we're gonna get to the promised land, and then we'll deal with that stuff when we get to it.
Yeah, so that's what I
For
took from
judges,
the Moses.
teachers, preachers, everybody.
That's what I took from Moses when he was wandering for 40 years out there in the desert. I think the Lord was weeding out those busters. Their heart was in it in the beginning, but he knew and knows everything. So instead of separating them, he just let them fall off and die off because,
but that was the old folks.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. I want to follow the Most High's example. You know what I'm saying? Look, who was it? Caleb and who else? The name slipping my
Joshua.
And Joshua. Yeah, how the hell I forget Joshua? But Caleb and Joshua made it through. So the Calebs and Joshuas, hey, come on. But the rest of y'all, hey, I'm sorry, I can't do nothing for you, player.
That goes back to what I always say. But I'm not here for all black people. I'm here for the productive blacks.
Exactly.
And let's not forget the 5 brides, right? The 5 brides. Yeah, don't forget there's the 10 and then there was 5, right? Don't forget. 5 bride tried.
All right. Any closing remarks on what we brought out today? The black home, relationships, economics, whatnot.
I would just say, let's all you young folks out there and you Joshuas and Calebs, 2-parent households is what we advocate for and push for the betterment of the children. Trade schools are better for the education, and trade schools. Charter schools are better for the education of the children and for the young men and young adults that are really pushing for change. Trade schools would be good for you. Go get you a trade, something where you work with your hands. If you ain't the most book smart, I want to go get a college degree person, because you can turn that into an entrepreneurial endeavor and be a millionaire off of just taking the trade school learning and taking it to the next level. And I'll let it go at that.
I want to say, love yourself before you think you could love someone else. And change starts with self. If you ain't willing to change yourself or your surroundings, there is no change going to come from it.
Anybody else want to, any closing remarks before we close it out?
Yeah, I gotta shout out Europa Report TV, and I'm Denise with the bar.
Already.
By the show.
And I just want to shout out all y'all. Much love just in this kingdom. And I look forward to building with y'all in the future, especially Sister Denise and all y'all. This is what we have to do. So I give thanks to the Most High. Sha.
And I'll say this, we definitely need women to start using your kings, man. Or how you say it? Man, how you said it, sister?
King man.
Yeah, king man.
She said,
and you
King
and the
man.
tools, your woman, your helpmate, like you said before. Use your tool
The tool.
correctly. We're here to help.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the king man gonna be the one on the couch eating potato chips, watching cartoons.
No.
That sounds like a boy man, not a king man. That's a boy man.
Right.
It sounds straight like a boy. He could be 50
Yeah.
and still be a boy.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. They have to differentiate. You want to be a king man, not a peasant man, right? So we're building king
Facts.
men.
Look, if you got that man on your couch, man, send him to trade school. Tell me, give him an ultimatum. You giving a kitty cat to him for nothing.
He ain't bringing nothing into the household but the ability to watch kids.
Right. You giving the
And
kitty
don't even
cat,
do that well.
start
watch
using,
kids.
start using the kitty cat as a bartering tool to make his ass go to school and be something. You know what I'm saying? Go to trade school. You know what I'm saying? So that'll solve
That's
that.
what women do. Women make men conscious of themselves and want to do better.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you, trade school changed my whole life. But yeah, man, if that's all, man, we're gonna close out, man. I appreciate everybody in the panel that came through, showed love, gave their perspective and their views. We're gonna keep it pushing, keep it rocking here at the source. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. You know how we rocking, man. Let's get it. We're gonna leave out and close out with my brother LV. Let's get it.
All props to the Most High.
I got a visa, that's one swipe, they change the demeanor. I got that almighty baby. That bitch came with a beeper, cold as a freezer. Heat up in my leisure, I feel like a fever, baby. You know I'm a keeper, I got a visa, that's one swipe, they change the demeanor. I got that almighty baby. That bitch came with a beeper, cold as a freezer. Heat up in my leisure, I feel like a fever, baby. You should know that I'm a keeper. Just a keepsake, hey. And you can keep that tucked away. Some gon' come with the lies. Remember them when you pray. Some gon' cry when they die. You don't worry about decay. Look, I done went through away. My time is short, so I'ma live it today. That shit was real. What happened to the slaves? But you gotta be brave. It's a land of the free. Gotta move like waves. Put the ring to the path. I give them path for the rage. Then I put them on the path to take them all up the stage. I got a visa, that's one swipe. They change the demeanor. I got that almighty baby. That bitch came with a beeper, cold as a freezer. Heat up in my leisure, I feel like a fever, baby. You know I'm a keeper, I got a visa, that's one swipe. They change the demeanor. I got that almighty baby. That bitch came with a beeper, cold as a freezer. Heat up in my leisure, I feel like a fever, baby. You should know that I'm a keeper. This is the keepsake, hey. You can use this right away. Some gon' come with the truth. Honor them when you pray. Some gon' laugh about their life. They don't worry about delays. Look, I done whipped up away that level's real when you can use it today. Don't worry about how you're gonna get paid. Lord, give it free, take it away, hey. Don't you wanna be free? Remove that rage. There's a path to the light, hey. Don't misuse those ways. We flow with the truth. Gotta move like waves. feel like a fever, baby. You know I'm a keeper, I got a visa. That's one swipe, they change the demeanor. I got that all money, baby. That bitch came with a paper, cold as a freezer. I heat up in my leisure. I feel like a fever, baby. You should know that I'm a keeper.
Yep. Subscribe to LV Europa TV on YouTube. Show my brother love. You know what I'm saying? Talented brother. You know what I'm saying? This music is awesome. We always show him love on the source, man. I appreciate everybody that came through, showed us love tonight. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We will be live tomorrow. We will be back in effect tomorrow. We got a special show tomorrow. We might have Michael the Archangel. He was supposed to be tonight, but we're going to reschedule that for tomorrow. So y'all don't want to miss that. Tune in. We have a brother calling himself Michael the Archangel, and we're going to interview him on tomorrow's show. SUC, the building, Source Gang, 7 gang over everything. Let's get it.
Sourced up click, baby.
Gang.